0257-1061. Or you can call the other number 030-279-4805. I'll take calls for about 15 to 20 minutes and then we'll get the conversation going. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Already I see the lights blinking, so the callers are on. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning. This is Otunfo calling from Airport Residential.
All right, Otunfo, please go ahead.
Nathan, my coach Enzo Maresca, sold our match out with a poor lineup, and so I was also upset, but Charlie, I will keep calm no matter the situation. And also, Terrence Crawford, Charlie, that guy is a gem. Terrence Crawford is a gem. So as build up to the fight, the bout. I was thinking, I was a bit skeptic about, Canelo power and everything. And, this guy was going about two weight classes up.
Yeah.
Understand? And, with that, the bookmakers will always tell us, with that, it kind of, limits you as far as your skill. But I think, Crawford did everything as if, he was like a middleweight fighter, there was no traces of say the guy will struggle or something, Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie Crawford is up there. He's up there with Floyd Dempsey.
All right.
Oh yeah, Nathan, come on, like there's no ambiguity about it. Charlie declared that he declared the guy is for there. I feel like Nathan.
Yeah, that's bad for you. Very, very intelligent boxer. Very, very intelligent boxer.
His footwork. Charlie Canelo was super reliant on his power.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's the only thing I gathered from Canelo's outfit that night. He was over reliant on his power, and when you meet technical boxers, I think boxers that are always over reliant on their power, always struggle to meet, these technical guys.
Okay.
Floyd Mayweather schooled him, and I think another Mayweather in this guy also schooled him. And
well, Canelo after the bout, he actually said that he felt Terrence Crawford was a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather.
No, with that one, I think he's just filling out his sentiments.
Okay.
But I like the way he thinks because I don't know if you forget prior to his Mayweather bout and the trash talking and everything. With him and Crawford, I think Canelo doesn't really fancy doing this trash talking and blah blah.
No. Canelo no.
Bad blood against Mayweather. You understand? He has this bad blood against Mayweather. And the way Mayweather lost that guy, Charlie was also crazy. He was also crazy because all the bookmakers were predicting Canelo to beat Mayweather because of how the guy was emerging.
Yeah.
He was undefeated when he met.
Yes. Yes, he was undefeated.
Yeah, he was also undefeated. So he was two undefeated, boxers, and one was way younger, and there's no ambiguity about the fact that those Bako is fresh. So but this time around 37 years and 35 years, but I think it was on the fair ground, and Terrence Crawford challenge.
Okay.
I broke my heart for that guy.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, take care then.
I'll be back.
All right, thank you so much. 7:27. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Give me a call 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, or 0302-279-4805. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. Let's not forget that Total English Football happens right after the Sporty Breakfast at 10. So note that down and join Yvonne and her team as they break down the biggest stories from the weekend serving of English football. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dada. I was calling from my health special.
All right, please go ahead.
The voice of sports.
I'm a Chelsea fan. Right? The caller, you Wednesday against Bayern Munich, and you want Chelsea to start as first 11. No. Bayern Munich is not a small game to start your first 11 against Burnley. No. The draw is good.
Against Brentford, not Burnley. Against Brentford.
Brentford, sorry. Over started first 11 against Brentford. Now they only have Bayern Munich away. And a better match to Chama. I might say and I am more draw because Champions League in the group in wedding. We pray for good Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. 054-257-1061 0302 794805 0302 794805. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Nathan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Eric calling from Ashaiman.
All right. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm an Arsenal fan, and this weekend was really great. Seeing AZ and all the players performing was nice. But please, I want to know about Saminu, the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he went to the final, or
no, he made the semi-final. He made the semi-final.
Yeah, and he was fourth.
He couldn't qualify to the final.
Sporty FM.
But that guy, Ghana should really look at him there, our leaders, because I can see that he really has a really great high ceiling, like a really great potential. And I pray that he goes on to deliver greater things. And please, I want to know about the relay team. Have they done theirs? No.
Relays are a little later. I'll get you the calendar, but relays are a little later. They won't happen. They won't happen now. Towards the end of the championship, that's when the relays are done.
Okay. And I want to talk about Shelley and Fraser Price.
Yes.
Last time, during your podcast about the championship, I had Eustace and the one that went to Japan, the one that is in Japan, for his name.
Yeah.
They were talking about who the greatest female sprinter was, and I was like, yo, Shelley and Fraser Price the longevity alone is crazy. I saw that she was sick in the finals or something.
Yes. She was in the finals.
Yeah, that's so amazing. That I wasn't expecting her to be at the finals, honestly, because of age and all that. But that woman is a superwoman for real. For her age and what she's doing, hats off to her. So
well, she's retiring now. This are her last championship. So after this, she's retiring.
Wow. Then she has really. And as for me, I regard her as the greatest sprinter, female sprinter of all time, for her longevity and all her accolades. Like she's amazing.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your call.
Sure. Have a nice day.
All right. Have a nice day too. 732-054-257-1061 030-279-4805. This is the Sporty Breakfast. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello.
The voice
Hello.
of sports.
Hello. All right. Looks like we lost that caller. 054-257-1061 030-279-4805. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Terrence. I'm calling from Italy.
Oh, okay. All right. Please go ahead.
I'm disappointed in the Chelsea fan that said they are going away to Germany to play Bayern Munich, so they benched their squad. A league they are competing for, you are also a favorite to winning the league, and you are benching your players because of Bayern Munich. What assurance do they have that when they go to Germany they will win?
Sporty FM.
I suppose Liverpool, and our match yesterday was very tough, but we find a way. The winning mentality alone was tough. That's what I say.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. 054-257-1061 054-257-1061. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message on the same number 054-257-1061, or you can call our other number 030-279-4805. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Mr. Nigga.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
My name
morning.
is from KG.
Okay, please go ahead.
First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to Crawford. Honestly, going into this fight, jumping a weight up is not easy, because
two weights up, actually. 2 weights up.
Just imagine 2 weights up. If you don't manage certain things, because Canelo is at his natural weight, so with his control and his legs movement and everything, he is used to it. But Crawford moving 2 weights up, that's an incredible feat to do, and he managed to fight so well that in the first 5 rounds of the fight, it was like, no, let me study what Canelo would throw at me. And then when he realized that, and then he started pouncing on him. That was a great feat. That was a great fight, and I'm happy he won, because Canelo Nangata more analyze more in a pound for pound when Mugobe. If the rematch clause is reactivated, he will beat him again. But he can't beat Crawford. Also, to talk about the athletics that's going on, man, I was extremely disappointed in Azamati. Azamati disappointed me big time. Hey, for all the situations he's been going through, for him to put that run on it, I was really extremely disappointed. And I was down for the other one, wasn't it?
Saminu.
Yeah, Aminu did well.
Saminu, yeah.
But just so short of the time. Because if you want to make the final, you should be running under 9 seconds. 10 seconds making the final is not time that will push you there, unless you qualify one of the best after. Mm-hmm. But he did well. If he continues to go in this trajectory, we will have an early in the final very soon, since 2005. That is crazy. We've not had any athletes qualifying for the final since 2005.
Yeah.
What have we been doing in this championships?
Well, it is. You see, the thing is that to get to this point, you are talking about running sub 10, right? Athletes need to run sub 10 on a consistent basis. How many of our athletes have been doing Diamond League on a weekly basis? None of them. So if you want to do sub 10, you have to be running consistently. Those who are in school will have school races. If they go out, once they are out of school, that is the end.
Yes, and come to talk about that one. You see, those that are in school that are running the Diamond League, even the stipends that the government is supposed to be giving them while they are in school, it's not even coming. Please, everything has been pushed to the Black Stars. I want to be mindful of my words. I don't trigger people this morning, but it looks like everything has been pushed towards the Black Stars. But the ministry is Ministry of Sports, not Ministry of Black Stars. They should give these athletes some support and let them try it. And finally, this week is the Champions. The Champions League is back.
Yes.
I want to wish my team Chelsea all the best. Even though this weekend felt like a defeat rather than a draw. And you see, this offside goal that they didn't take, we also want an apology from the PGM. They should come and apologize for it, because that goal they scored at the end was an offside goal. So we are waiting for our work. They should come and apologize to us. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. 7:37. More calls. You should take what? 3 more calls. Okay, 3, and then I read some messages. Okay, no problem. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 030-279-4805. And you can also send me a WhatsApp message, 054-257-1061. Let me take the first of my last 3 calls. Hello?
Hey, Chema.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
But I don't understand. What we're going to expect? I wish you.
Who Emmanuel, is that you? But you haven't told us your name and where you are calling from.
You mentioned my name already.
So where are you calling from, Emmanuel?
Unknown location.
Okay, you.
What we're going to expect? Are you invested in your people, and you want them to go there and go and be spirited like you say both of us? I don't understand. Anytime.
Right, so why can't people be disappointed anymore?
Disappointed over what? People that you've not invested in, and do you think that those people who were there, who were running, they just came there by fluke, or they just came there just to come and what have you done? See, there's nothing to show for. To show for. You were there as a Matino. Mother. What you move? What do I don't understand anything. What do we expect? Right? We go there, we go and do something extraordinary. But the thing is not by fluke. You train, you invest, and and the outcome will be good. But you can't just wake up one day and say I'm running. That one day everybody can run. Which I can run. The Nigerian guy, nobody they told him they told him that he was good to run with someone. He said if you like the person have legs, if you have legs, if you say that. He said he had legs. Everybody have legs in Ghana. See, everybody can run. But there's some measures in place you have to put in place before you can do well. Like you can't just wake up one day and say I'm going to championship and I'm going to win without no any proper investment. You don't put anything in place and you want to go out and win. It doesn't make sense. Today I don't want to talk about United because me now I'm following your footsteps. Charlie, see, if I say I will follow this thing later, I don't know what will happen to me. So
I've told you. As for the match, watch when you can watch the match. But don't if something will happen to you if you are too invested.
Later, if I say I'll follow United, I don't know what will happen to me later.
So just take it easy.
Later, see. Later.
you see, you don't know what to say, so that's fine.
If I say I'll follow United, see, now I want to follow your system. I want to calm down.
You see, I've told you that it's a very simple secret. The secret is that don't have any expectations.
Later, no. But look, see, it's not about. But the thing is getting worse by the day.
Yes, it will get worse. It will get worse. It will get worse.
So what's the problem later?
No, you see, that's what I'm saying. So once nobody can analyze or diagnose the problem, why worry?
Sporty FM.
Why worry?
They should close the club down.
No problem. That day is coming.
They should close the club down. You know that there's no Manchester United.
I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that day is coming. So just relax. You say that I said it. It will not be now. It may be 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but one day.
I'm telling
you. You see, the point. I mean, I made a prediction many years ago, right? Many years ago, I made it on radio that one day will come when you go to the top business schools in the world, like Harvard Business School, Oxford Business School, they'll teach a course. Yeah. They'll teach a course titled "How Not to Run an Organization," and it will be Manchester United they will use to teach that course.
Manita, this is getting serious.
Yeah, it will get serious. I'm telling you, it won't get better now. That is why you need to calm down.
For the players or the administration.
It's everything. Is everything 30% this, 30% that, 30% the other one is everything. I mean, I've told you, when you listen to my advice, your life will change.
Oh, now I'm listening to you. I'm not watching with my heart. I'm watching with my head.
When I watch it, it's for work purposes, academic purposes, because I have to watch and come and.
It's not easy.
No, I'm not saying
you can't take it.
You see, I'm not saying it is easy. Nobody has me. I haven't quit supporting the team. No, nobody is saying it's easy, but you have to learn to manage yourself through this period.
That one is true. It's true. I don't want that early.
So as for the match, just don't be emotionally when they win. Yay! If they don't, and then you move on to the next one.
Look short. 2035. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Emmanuel, thank you so much. Let me take two more calls. 054 257 1061. Two more calls, and then we start first with the Ghana Premier League. It started over the weekend. Hello. Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is William. I'm calling from Mampong.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, I want to say something small about Chelsea.
Okay.
The earlier callers, they said you are not supposed to start your first 11 when you are going to meet Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
If you check all the big clubs, this weekend, every club started their first 11. Madrid did, Liverpool did, Arsenal did, all the big clubs. So why are you benching your players because of Bayern Munich? So Maresca, and he's not learning from last season. Last season, the Conference League final showed him a lesson. I didn't learn from it. You bench your players. Later on, we were losing before you brought in Luis James and the rest before we won the game. He's not learning from that, and it's going to affect you this season also. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. Let me take two more calls. 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805. I think I was trying to get a caller on the other line, but it didn't work. Two more calls. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. Let me see if I can take a caller on the other line. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you very much. I'm Atu calling from Tema.
Okay, please go ahead.
Nathan, it seems as if a lot of people don't really know Liverpool very well.
Okay.
Liverpool is a team
Sporty FM.
that until the last whistle is gone, they will still score. Even if you score them 2, they would equalize and score. That is one thing people should know. Liverpool, it's not a joke. They should go and ask AC Milan what happened in 2005, 2006. The Champions League. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that final.
So we should give respect to Liverpool. And secondly, Nathan, have you spoken about the GPL?
No, we haven't spoken about that. But you can make an initial comment. We are yet to get into that.
Did you watch the match between Kotoko and Brecum Chelsea?
No, unfortunately. No, I was not near television at the time.
You find time and watch it. And you see that the coverage is still the same old story. One direction. One angle. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Let me take one more call and then we will call it a morning. In terms of the calls, 054-257-1061 and then 030-279-4805. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message. I'm about to go into the WhatsApp messages and then we will proceed with the show. We'll start off with the Ghana Premier League. I'll run the scores by you and then we'll take some very interesting opinions and angles. One final call and then we proceed with the Ghana Premier League. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805, and you can send me a WhatsApp message on the same number, 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast.
Sporty FM.
Alrighty, 7:47. Let's start off with the Ghana Premier League. It started off last week Friday. Hearts of Oak and Kotto United started a new season off with a goalless draw there, and then the rest of the games rolled out. Defending champions Gold Stars beat Bechem United by 2-1. Asante Kotoko beat Brecum Chelsea by 1-0 on the road at the Brecum Golden City Park. Medama traveled to beat Young Apostles by 2-0 in a game that didn't surprise me. I mean, Medama have built quality. Some people actually think they could be tough customers this season. Michael Asaibradu is one who believes that Medama will be tough customers this season. Vision 0, Samatek 0. Vision got a red card there. Nations FC 2, Swedru All Blacks 1. Nations had to come from a goal down to win that game. And Nations, I suspect, might be a tough customer this season after missing out on the league. Canelo 1, Adriana 0, Holy Star 0, 11 Wonders 0, and Heart of Lions 1, Dreams FC 0. A tough game for Lions, but they managed to win that game by 1-0. All right, Abigail Senasosu is joining me in studio. Michael Asaibrodi is joining me on the line. Abigail and Michael, thank you so much. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
Michael is sporting a Ghana Premier League t-shirt. I like that. I like the tea, the Black Ghana Premier League tea. Michael, I'll come to you in a second. Abigail, how are you doing?
I'm well, Nathan.
Yes. Last week we were here previewing the Hearts of Oak Hohoe United game. You and I were on the same page. We felt Hearts of Oak could get something from that game, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen for Hearts of Oak. Try as they did, they could not break down Hohoe United, and the game ended up goalless.
Well, I think that what comes to mind immediately is Masudi Dramani's post-shaft. When he said, why is it that Hearts of Oak is unable to get results on match day 1 after the last 4 seasons? And he's asking, what are we talking about? He doesn't even know there's something like that with Hearts of Oak. So you would get that feeling that they went in there like a normal game after that good preseason for them. They thought that, well, it should translate or it should continue on match day 1. But unfortunately, Hohoe United, together with their manager, came with something else. They had something else up their sleeves. And for Abraham Basiru, he just went home, I can say that, and felt at ease. There was a script that literally played out. They went into that game not wanting to lose, wanting to take their chances if it happens and win. But deep down, they knew they would be satisfied with a draw, because if you watch the way they played, they allowed themselves to sit deep in defense and always want to go after those long balls and hope to catch Hearts of Oak on that counter. It worked a couple of times, but I've always said that for Division 1 clubs that get into the Ghana Premier League, mostly their problem is how to get out of the clothes of Division 1. You could still see some of those little mistakes you would do in Division 1 and go free. Unfortunately, here you can't do those things and not go unnoticed. So their wingers brought their A game. There was a certain William Sodo that I thought that started the game so well down, I think, the left flanks for Hohoe United. But that cutting edge, that experience, it will come if they continue like this. But I felt that they are very, very resolute. They just had to sit back, and that defense led by Paul Kwame was good. They did so well. They did so well, and they just frustrated Hearts of Oak and Masudi Dramani. It was one of those games that once again Frank Duku had to be dropping deep, because that supply from that midfield was not just happening. And so he has the strength, but you can't do that throughout of course, the stretch of the game. So I think that Hearts of Oak still needs a lot of legs and lots of brains, much more energies in that midfield, and players that will be ready to supply, like get the ball up front. Now there's a forward that at least from the latter part of the season through to preseason have shown that if you're able to get the ball through to him, he creates the spaces, all right, but who is there to do that final connection? If he drops deep, gets the ball and creates that space for his colleagues to go through, who is there? That has always been the question. Martin Kakari trying to get back into the fold of Hearts of Oak, at least for us to be able to appreciate that talent he came on board from Asekem. It's been very, very rough for him in the last 2 seasons, but I felt that he gave himself a decent account. And for Benjamin Asare, I don't know what to say, but
important save.
He was a difference for Hearts of Oak. I felt that was any other goalkeeper on any other, they could have conceded, but of course that is the plus you have when you have a goalkeeper of his sort and of his caliber. But sometimes it is not enough. That attacking powers of Hohoe, they're just walking into the defense of Hearts of Oak as if nothing was at stake. They're too comfortable going at Hearts of Oak, but Hearts of Oak were found. I don't know what to do. I want the right word to use. They were not that confident going up against the Division 1 side, and I don't know if that talk of what happens on match day 1
maybe it got to them. You could tell they were very
to get it
almost
early.
They were playing with a lot of fear.
Wanting to get the goal, get the result at all costs, to at least for people to stop talking about it. And that Kotoko are also going to a place they might not get results and all of that. I feel the talk got to the players because I thought they were a little bumpy and jumpy all over the place. But he says they are still in preseason. So they'll get out of it. And he reminded us that it is a marathon, not a sprint. So
fair.
We'll wait to see. Match day one, early days yet, but I feel that how you set the momentum will continue for you, because I felt a lot of the fans came to the stadium with that preseason expectation, and it was good to see most of the fans in the new replica. You know,
no, I see.
Yeah, they were in the new one, not the old one. So it means that they have also renewed their minds, hoping to see a new Hearts of Oak in the Ghana Premier League. You get so they were a little disappointed. The fans that trooped in, fair, good numbers for match day one. I mean, the season opener, aside every other attraction that brought them in. But it was good to see the Hearts of Oak fans in there looking to something good. But I can only say that it's just one game. Maybe they should continue like this and it will help, because they really came out in their numbers and it was good. But I think that Masudi Dramani has a lot of work to do. He's continuing from his mantra that if he doesn't beat you, you can't beat him. But I don't think that it will work for a lot of fans who are looking to at least grab that trophy after Samuel Bodo. For them, they will tell you it's been quite a long time. And from the way Kotoko are coming, after getting that result in Bekum, clearly they will also rethink, and I think Didi Dramani has to do better. For Tijani, he saw what could be done better. The cutting edges, the rough parts for Harzabo got into those spaces and just sealed it, and they had that point, a good point on the road for Hull United. Yeah,
it's a great way to start the season, but Hearts of Oak need to really sort out their attack. The build-up is never the problem. It's when they get into the decision. They had nobodies in the box. Yeah. They didn't know who to find. And you made a point about Frank Duku dropping. You see, that's the thing. When strikers are not fed, they now go and look for the ball. And in doing so, they leave a gaping hole in attack that nobody is either smart enough to fill, or people just don't want to take risks. And that's what happens. And I think if Hearts maybe had committed...
But I think Abdul Karim is quite a catch for Hearts of Oak.
Well...
He won man of the match. Yeah. And away from man of the match, he's decent. It's good. If he continues without any form of distractions, he'll come good.
Well, let's see what happens to Hearts of Oak. Michael, let me bring you in. I don't know if you have any comments on Hearts of Oak's opener. Then we can talk about Bekum Chelsea 0, Asante Kotoko 1, before we move on to the other, some of the other games. Yeah, Michael, you're on. Hello, Michael, can you hear me?
Sporty FM.
Okay, we'll see if we can bring Michael in. We'll see if we can bring Michael Asai-Bredu in. It looks like there's a challenge with his line. You can send in your comment, 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. There are a few comments... on the WhatsApp. Let me go through that and then we'll still continue with the Ghana Premier League. This one says, my highlight of the week has to be Ghana's esports team beating Nigeria. What a moment for Ghana esports. After that, Crawford's victory over Canelo, Man City thrashing United, Bournemouth getting the win, and Seville from Jamaica taking the 100-meter gold medal ahead of Noah Lyles. What an incredible weekend. Kweku from Bournemouth. Kweku, thank you so much for listening. This one says, Xabi Alonso used the same formation when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, and it worked, but failed him at Real Madrid in the Club World Cup. He changed it when the La Liga started and got the result today. During the Manchester derby, Pep changed his formation twice. Nathan Ake gesturing the 5-4-1. Amorim, I'm now telling Man United he can't change. Okay, Amorim is now telling Man United he can't change. Definitely he wants to be changed. He's tired of the job. Stephen from Mataheko sent us that particular message. In terms of the Ghana Premier League, so Hearts of Oak drawing goalless. The other scores I've gone through, or the other big result was Asante Kotoko beating Bekum Chelsea at the Golden City Park for the first time since 2010. Michael, what an incredible result for Asante Kotoko, getting their first win at Bekum or against Brecum Chelsea away from home in a very, very, very long time. How did that happen? How did they get that result to fall their way yesterday in the Ghana Premier League?
Sporty FM.
Okay, it looks like we still have a challenge with Michael's line, but you can keep sending your messages 054 257 1061 054 257 1061. I'll be going through some of your WhatsApp messages as we still chit chat concerning the Ghana Premier League. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Your comments are welcome. 054 257 1061. Defending champions, Bibiani Gold Stars, they started the season with a 2-1 home win over Bechem United. Well, Gold Stars want to defend their title, and they've started well. Okay, I think Michael is joining us. Let me get him. Michael, can you hear me? Good morning once again.
Good morning, Nathan. I can hear you.
Wonderful. I was asking if you had any quick thoughts on House of Oak start before we talk about Asante Kotoko and how they managed to get that result in Brecum.
No, not really. I expected them to have a difficult start to the season. What we saw in the top four was basically House of Oak applying themselves as regarding a typical pre-season competition. Now, when the actual competition starts, that is where the players would have to deal.
Hello, Michael. Hello, Michael. Okay, we'll work the line again and bring Michael in to talk a bit more. Abigail, let's quickly touch on the Gold Stars result. 2-1, starting their title defense with a win. I guess it's always the best way to begin there, but it wasn't an easy game. Bechem United can be tough customers sometimes, but Atakumi got 2 goals, 1 penalty, and 1 after 15 minutes. While Bechem United's goal, I loved the Bechem United goal. Really, they worked it out well.
Yeah, Dalvin Yeboah will always give you such good moments. But I think that, but for Kotoko and Has, I'm yet to see any other side in the Premier League that has been able to do a back-to-back.
Yeah.
In the last 3 seasons, the league has been on and in and about for Medama, but still in the West, Medama to be
Medama, Samatex
to be BNE. So I don't know if they can't do it, but of course they need this kind of start. Remember, they are going to play in the Champions League as well. So sometimes it's not just looking at the Ghana Premier League, hoping that they can also be in good shape and in good form ahead of that African campaign as well. For Samuel Atakumi, it's just continuing from where he left off last season. I'm just praying that he'll go injury-free and then continue in this form. For Africa's sake, at least at the end of the day, it's the Bibiani Gold Stars that goes out there, but they end up putting Ghana on the map. And I feel that if he has this kind of form, it gives the fans and followers of Bibiani Gold Stars that confidence that going to such a campaign later in the season, there'll be someone who they can rely on to be able to get them goals and all of that. Score the first goal of the season, score the first penalty of the season after 3 minutes. So it's one that they would also want to live with. And like you said, Bechem United have equally been good started to every other season. At least in the last 3-4 seasons, they managed to command the first to the 6th position until the end of the season, where they finally define where they want to. There are some seasons where they've led the path and let it go in the second round. So they're not a bad side themselves, but it looks like they let go of a lot of players and got new foots in there. And so it might take time for them to really get on top. But away from home, anything can happen, and it's a good way for Frimpong Manso and his boys to have started the season. But the title defense will be something else for me, because like I mentioned, but for Kotto and Hard, I'm yet to see anyone that can do a back-to-back.
Well, let's see. They've started with one win out of 34.
Good.
Very
good.
Let's judge them after match day 10.
Okay.
We'll see where they are.
I'll judge them after their first outing in the Champions League.
Okay. Well. Let me go back to the line. Michael Asaibedu is back. Michael, let's talk about Kotoko's win 1-0 on the road against Brekum Chelsea. A feat they haven't chalked since 2010. How are they able to pull that together, going to Brekum to get themselves those 3 points?
I think it was a repetition of the approach to the FA Cup semi-final. They played against Chelsea at Takwa. And I think Zito decided that if they were to go match Brekum Chelsea in terms of trying to outplay them, especially from the middle, they were going to miss out. Prior to the game, there were concerns about Kotoko's middle. None have started a competitive game for them yet. The starting midfield duo or the midfield combinations of Asante Kotoko last season had changed entirely. Lord Hilary Adabo just joined them from Samates. Also, you can look at Seth Kwajo. He joined them from Bechem United. The other midfield option had not played for Kotoko in a competitive match before. For Chelsea, they are just Lord Hubert Cheu, but they still maintained Kwesi Sorutu Badori and then Vincent Klueje. So it meant that Chelsea's starting midfield trio had two players who were part of the squad of last season. So they had that consistency and team chemistry. For Kotoko, they didn't. Andrews in team menu is out. He's injured. Justice Blair has left. Sambo O'Neill, who played as a defensive midfielder at varying points last season, has to revert to his original position. So Zito had to contend with his decision-making, particularly about his starting midfield. He stuck with Hilary Adabo and then also Seth Kwajo. Then he played Emmanuel Entry in an offensive midfield role. But the issue had to do with they couldn't control the game in a manner as they expected. So they decided to go physical. The likes of Patrick Essiedu, Musa Amatata, who was playing as a makeshift right back, even Sambo O'Neill, and then Jose Fablo decided to be very physical on the Chelsea players. At a point in time, it got Samuel Boadu very frustrated because he knew that was the kind of plot Asante Kotoko had devised so that they could get the better of his boys. And I think it got into the Chelsea players. They decided to retaliate at varying points, and it affected their play. But I believe Chelsea started the game very well. They played very well and should have gotten the goal in the opening 15 minutes. Kotoko rode their luck during that spell, and then they warmed themselves into the game and then played their own way. One, they tapped into the passing brilliance of someone like Seth Kwajo. So what Kotoko did was that they made sure their defense was solid. They had enough cover in Hilary Adabo. And whenever possession was won by Kotoko, the recycling was done by Hilary Adabo, a pass to Seth Kwajo, and then he has to switch one pass to the forward areas and then expect the run of someone like Albert Tamwa so that he can race to the ball, try to do his own individual stuff, and if he gets a way through, then he can unleash a shot. And it did not really work in the first half, especially following the injury of Kami Poku. Then Kotoko had to change things a bit, brought on Morifin Donzo, and then in the second half, things actually kicked off from there for them. I think it was a game of 2 halves. Chelsea played very well in the first half. Kotoko asserted their dominance in the second half, and it paid off. But this was a win that they had to grind. It is something that they really had to fight very hard for. They did not have it easy, and they did it in the best possible way they could. One, Hubert, he had a point to prove. He was one of the marquee signings for Asante Kotoko during the last transfer window. He had come on board, but hadn't really delivered as expected. People were starting to question why he could not even command starting minutes in the Asante Kotoko team. And then playing against his former side at a venue he knows too well, I think there was something that really pricked in him. He decided that he needed to lay down the markup, make that point that he has really come to Asante Kotoko to stay. So when Zito brought him on, I want to believe that there was a psychological reasoning behind it. Jehu wants to prove a point. This is Brekum. He knows there very well. And so the decision to bring him on, I think, was a master stroke. It changed everything for Kotoko. When Zubel Jehu came on, one, he was carrying the ball better than maybe any of the other Asante Kotoko midfielders had done. And so what he did was that he was able to carry the ball into spaces, draw a lot of Brekum Chelsea players towards him, then create openings for the other Asante Kotoko attackers, players who were willing to run. And I think that is what Albert Tamwa profited from. You that Albert Tamwa has an excellent turn of pace. So when you play the ball ahead of him, irrespective of the marker, he can outrun him and then get an advantage. He tried that initially. That ball was whistled for an offside. Then he decided to go or repeat the same thing. Then this time around it worked. Samuel Amofa, who had come on, did not really match Albert Tamwa for pace. And then he had to intelligently race into the penalty box. And then Espeli take a low shot that went through the legs of goalkeeper Emmanuel Ledu. I think this was a well-planned Asante Kotoko game plan, and then it was well executed by the players. On a day when they did not play at their best throughout, they still decided to steal some moments, and one of those moments decided the outcome, and it was beautiful. Albert Tamwa is growing to become that special player for Asante Kotoko. To me, I think he's the most important attacker in the Kotoko side. All the other attackers are one-dimensional. He offers you two dimensions. He can function as a wing forward or a wing attacker, and then can also play as a center forward. And his versatility, and then also the other assets or his skill set, makes Asante Kotoko change their game plan as and when. And I think any injury to Albert Tamwa will really impact negatively on the Asante Kotoko attacking position. He is that one that they need to go to when things get difficult. Last season, in the opening game against Karela, things got really tough for them. He had to show up and score another brilliant individual goal. And then this season, he showed up to score a brilliant goal to end Asante Kotoko's 13-match winless streak against Brekum Chelsea. This was their first win in Brekum, and then their first win away against the Brekum Chelsea since 2010. And I think it is a beautiful thing that they did.
Wow, what a way to end a 15-year wait for a win against Brekum Chelsea on the road. We are wrapping up here. Abigail, are there any other results that struck you? And then I take concluding comments from Michael.
I think that my very good friend Ibrahim Tanko has started well. And if you had over a month of preseason away from your comfort zone, you have been able to refresh your mind, debug yourself of everything that came with last season, and you are getting into a new season. Like, it's only right that you start on a good foot. And against Young Apostles, it was not far off, because this is a side that they were also able to beat them on the road last season somewhere in November. So more like they are whipping boys, but not to take anything away from the team effort. Medama look to be doing something rather on the quiet, and I'm very positive they could strike a chord this season. The very reason I put them in second position, I'm expecting them to get to a certain level, and Medama is not a club that will put pressure on managers, and so Tanko has the luxury to be able to work very well. And so I think that they could come good. It was a good result as well. But the new entrants, they were my target away from Hoho United. All Blacks.
So Hoho United got a point. All Blacks lost. And then who?
11 Wonders also got a point.
Yes, they got the point on the road.
At
the
but that was a bold statement from All Blacks. But the
scoring first.
That point was just below the belt for Nations, and it's good how they responded, because it would have been a dent on Casemiro Kante after all these years, and just let a new entrant just get into your den and be misbehave, if I can say that. But
to lose on opening day to it, it would have
not gone well for him at all, and for where he wants to get Nations. So like you rightly said, they came this close last season, and it's only right that if you are going into a new season, I'm sure Divine's expectation will be for him to maintain it or go for the ultimate. So it's good the way they have started. I'm happy for some of the clubs and how they have started. Doing Super Club, unfortunately, didn't go well in Pandu, and you would expect that for a side like Lions that have kept the core of their team, led by Abad, who has been their captain for the last 3 seasons. Clearly, he's matured into that role, and he's able to rally his team behind them. I sit back and I look at Dream Super Club and I say, I am lost. I literally didn't know have any connection with all of the players. So it tells
a lot of the
me
people you know have moved on.
it tells me that so the Dreamers have a new place they are sleeping and having different dreams. I need to really get back home and get to see them. You see, Dortmund having total control of the team now. He's been an assistant for years. From white coaches to coming back, having to drop to national team duties, local coaches coming, and now this is Dortmund. We want to really get to see what he has picked up from all of these managers, and he personally, what he will be able to do. And I'm confident in the backroom staff that he has, especially Parker Hansen, for him to have dodged hard the book and get to dreams. Clearly, he wants that low-key pressure and a very friendly and lovely environment to be able to work, and I can assure you, at least that's what I have seen. Dreams FC can offer you that. There's no pressure, but if you are not getting the result, that is when the pressure will come. It's just like Medama. Nobody really pokes their nose in here and there. So I believe that Dortmund should be able to really streamline this Junior Football club, this team this season. And they didn't put up a bad performance in the second half. It was they lifted themselves up, but already the harm has already been done in the first half after that penalty from Aban. So it's not bad, but unfortunately they came home with nothing to show up. So I'm looking forward to a lot of changes in match day too. Things are going to happen.
Things will settle.
I think this season has a lot to offer.
Okay. Michael, your concluding thoughts on match day 1 of the Ghana Premier League?
I think from the 2 venues I visited, Brekum was lovely, and the people had really missed their football. But I think we should commend Brekum Chelsea for how they've transformed the Golden City Park. It is not their own facility. That is a state-owned facility.
Okay.
But you look at the investment Brekum Chelsea have pumped into making sure that the facility became ready. It is impressive. The last time I visited there, and then you compare to what I also saw from last Saturday, I think that they've really uplifted they've given the facility a facelift. And I think that I'll need to give commendations to Brekum Chelsea for having that intention. I know that when the other leagues start, there will be pressure on the facility, and then there will likely be issues here and there. But overall, everything at Brekum was excellent. And to me, it is the best game for match day 1. Attendance, the euphoria, the football played, I have not seen any from the other venues or the other matches. So I want to give it to them. But the other teams I want to speak to briefly, Medama 1, Nations FC 2.
Okay.
I think Medama, they have a squad that is competitive enough, and in every position, the player who does not even start still has the quality or the skill set to fill in for the one who starts in the event that there is a suspension or an injury. And I say this because Paul Yeboah was on target for Medama yesterday. He scored their second goal. Paul Yeboah is one of the success stories of Golden Cake's FA Cup run last season. He was one of their excellent performers. He plays more as a left wing option, but he's a left back. He gives you more offensive actions. He contributes a lot in that manner. And on top of it, he's an excellent defender. So when Medama signed him, I knew definitely they had added a valuable asset to their left back options, especially with Fatah Sulemana also there. And it is not just their left back I want to speak to. Almost every department. Apia Kubi left as the goalkeeper. They already had Abdul Adam Jabal, a former goalkeeper of King Faisal, very young, has an excellent physical attribute, and he is now the backup goalkeeper to Felix Day. And they are not even 25 years yet. And all these 2 goalkeepers stand a chance to start on any day in any game for Medama. Right back, Hamadine Mamadou, we all know his quality. When he went with the Black Stars, last season he was the best offensive rated defender in the Ghana Premier League. And it's not just him. They decided to add another right back to him, and that is Ebenezer Nkrumah. Every position that Medama has, they have an able deputy to step up. And I think that with this young squad, they have Ibrahim Tanko, who is very good in terms of working with young players, working on their mindset, and also working with them tactically. And I think that if they keep up with what they started the season with, they will not be far from the top places in the Ghana Premier League. Last season, what hurt them was that they did not really start well. But this time around, they started well. They've recorded a 2-0 win on the road against Young Apostles. Although it was a home game for Apostles, and they played at Doma. Their usual home venue is at Wenchi. But they played this game at Doma. But Medama still weathered the storm, and then no matter any inconvenience or whatsoever, they were able to get a 2-0 win. I think they are one of the teams to watch out for. They started very well. I only hope and pray that they sustain this. And the Nations FC. Kasim Okanse-Mingle is one of the local coaches who does not really get much attention, is not always having the spotlight on him, but he does a solid job technically and tactically. He's a solid development coach. And with the Nations FC project, they've lost some quality players. Abdul Karim has joined Accra as a folk. Sadiq Alasan has left the club, is now a free agent. So their midfield options has then been restricted to Prince Bedu, Ivan Sapon, and yesterday you could tell that they were struggling, especially in the first half, until in the second half where Kasim Okanse-Mingle made some changes to change the midfield, because before then, All Blacks, who also have a very decent team, were dominating in the middle. Solomon Ayikabia, Samuel Boateng Fosu, they were bossing the middle like it was nobody's business. And trust me, if teams are just to look at All Blacks and think that they are newly promoted side and so they are going to have a good run against them, they will need to think twice about it. They have a very athletic team, very excellent, and then they can do a solid job. Their midfield too, Derek Esiama and then Samuel Boateng Fosu, they can boss any Premier League midfield on any given day. So if they are going to underrate Sweden All Blacks, I think they will shock them. So teams will need to take them serious. And then Kweku Aswanzi Bafo is their captain and their most experienced player as regards the Ghana Premier League. He's played for Wild Stars and now the other teams in times past. Yesterday, he got the opening goal. But Nations FC have to dig deep, and it speaks to the quality on their bench. Samuel Tete, who scored the equalizing goal for them, he climbed off the bench, and he did not start. But when things got rough and things got difficult for Nations FC, they had to trust him to come and impact the game, and that he did. And it brought the best out of them. I asked Kasim Okanse-Mingle. He started initially with a 3-man central defense. Razak Simpson, Samuel Osei-Kuffour, and then also Prince Boateng, Kwame Boateng. And he said they wanted to overload Sweden All Blacks. But when they saw that things were not working in the middle, Prince Bedu and Ivan Safo were struggling in the middle. And what he decided to do was that he will withdraw the right wing back, Suleiman Asuhini, and then bring on Samuel Tete, adjust the shape of his team, and then overload the forward area so that whenever that Sweden All Blacks, who were building from the back, will want to do their short pass build-up, they will have enough men up front to press them and regain the ball. And it made All Blacks very uncomfortable. Their goalkeeper, Ayi, did not know what to do, whether to go long or still play a short pass build-up so that the central defenders can build up from there. And that unsettled All Blacks in the second half. Excellent coaching by Kasim Okanse-Mingle. And Emmanuel Arnaud capped it off with a brilliant goal. I think that he's one of the young attackers in the league who does not get enough mentions, also because of his productivity. Yesterday, I told him, Arnaud can dribble, can do a solid job, formerly of the team United, but he does not score consistently or provide assists on a consistent basis. If he is to add it to his game, trust me, he will be one of the household names in the Ghana Premier League this season. He scored a beautiful goal to secure the win for Nations FC in stoppage time. And these two teams, Nations FC, Medama, people should watch out for them. I think that they have in stock something that is quality, a solid squad, and then excellent tacticians. I only pray that they will be consistent enough to do what they expected to do. But it was an exciting start to the 2025-2026 season, and I'm only hoping and praying that they will be able to sustain this and make things work. And then for the referee, you know that the referee who was in charge of the Nations FC Sweden All Blacks game is actually a musical director.
Oh, I see.
The Anglican Diocese in Accra.
Okay.
Yes.
That's an interesting revelation.
So yesterday on the page you could see the referee to put in our director choir. It was beautiful, Nathan, trust me. It was very exciting.
Wonderful, Michael. Thank you so much. I think we'll have you on to talk some Euros, but all right, let's proceed with the show. Abigail, thank you so much.
Nathan, before I go, sorry, off the ball incident. So already there's been a charge.
I hear Bekum Chelsea were at it.
But Bekum Chelsea have been charged with multiple breaches of the Ghana Premier League Regulations 2025 and enhanced the match day safety and security protocols. Remember, after Poli, it was enforced, and looks like the FA are not relenting on following their Premier League game against Kotoko at the Golden City Park. So the club is alleged to have allowed Mr. Obenanan Ketian on unauthorized official to sit in the inner perimeter. They are also alleged to have failed to ensure that all their players had their names displayed at the back of their strip. How? Such negligence. The club is further alleged to have failed to organize the mandatory pre-match briefing for their head coach. So, some of these things are basic. And they
writing names. They didn't have their names there.
Yeah. Quite basic. Pre-match and post-match. You've been through this.
You see,
over the season.
FA needs to crack the whip hard, because these are they are basic things. Yeah. Why are we still struggling with some of these things at this point? Match day 1, and yet we've started. We don't want to do pre-match.
Yeah. It's not like you are a new entrant that we can say you don't know.
Chelsea, you are experienced campaigners. You've been here.
Won the league before.
Anyway, I hope the FA punishes them. Abigail, thank you so much. We'll come back to talk about match day 2 when it happens in the coming weekend. 8:25. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. All right, let's hop on the jet. And let's go to Europe. It was a very interesting sporting weekend. There was Premier League action. There was La Liga action. Bundesliga, Liga. 27. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Eustace Niakwe is joining me. Eustace, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Nathan.
We typically don't see you out at this time
on the Sporty breakfast.
Yes, at this time of the day. At this time you are dealing with other issues.
Yeah. Usually by now I'll be in other jurisdictions.
Yes.
However, today, I always say I'm saying tonight because I'm always here in the evenings. But today I'm happy to be here. Absolute pleasure, Nathan.
Wonderful. Let's do a quick hop around Europe for our listeners. After the Sporty breakfast, there's Total English Football with Yvonne. So they will look at the Premier League, in a concentrated manner. Let me put it that way, a deeper dive into the Premier League. But I guess the biggest game over the weekend was the Manchester derby. Man City 3, Man United 0. Again, another week, another debate. Amorim in or out? Is it him or the players? Is it tactics? Oh man! But what did you make of the game, Eustace?
Well, it was a derby and a bit feisty at the beginning. But these are the kind of games where you don't really rely on the form guide. Manchester United fans like myself were hopeful that with what previous coaches like Ole had done, Erik ten Hag, few and far between, we were expecting that we would be able to pull a surprise at Etihad, owing to the form Manchester City was on. I mean, just before the international break. But we went into this game with a certain mindset, and for a period, it rather felt like Manchester City were playing on the counter-attack.
Yeah.
It felt like we were dominating possession because clearly that's what Amorim wanted to do, and they were rather playing on the counter-attack. But then again, the quality, the gap in quality, and I think the factors that matter was that Amorim's two central midfielders do not cut it. Bruno Fernandes is a number 10. If you want to bring him backwards to play a number 8, that experiment is not going to work. We are clear about that. After 4 or 5 matches into the season, we know it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You see, maybe he wants the Paul Scholes kind of long-range passing. He wants him to find Mbuemo, Sesko on the move, or whatever it is. But when he doesn't have the ball, you can see, Nathan, no matter how good you are as a football analyst or a presenter, if I ask you to go and join the Black Stars and wear a jersey and play,
that's a completely different.
You might have the knowledge, but it's completely different. He is a specialist number 10, Bruno Fernandes. Why is he playing in central midfield? It won't work. It doesn't matter if he's partnered with Kobe Mainoo. It doesn't matter if he's partnered with Ugarte. Whoever they bring in, Bruno Fernandes is not a number 8, and that's Man U's problem. They seem to have sorted out the other issues, the defensive issues, the goalkeeping issues, etc. But the fact that Amorim doesn't want to change in the central midfield area, play Bruno Fernandes up front. This was a perfect opportunity. We had one injury in our front three, our regular front three. Just push Fernandes up. Let's give them a run for their money. Let's balance it. Because we are fighting on 3 fronts. We are going to be playing. We are out of the League Cup.
That is gone.
So now 2 fronts.
The FA Cup, which will show up sometime next year. Early next year.
So all we have to do is play 1 week, one game per week. Wait for the opposition. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And the earlier Amorim starts to accept that the solution to the team's troubles is in the midfield.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is it a matter of quality or quantity? If he plays 3 men in midfield, does it solve the problem? Or if he plays 2 top quality central midfielders, things will improve?
If he plays natural central midfielders who understand, who are able to have a cohesion, like how we saw Sebo and Partey.
Yeah.
If he has a 2 like that, maybe he should buy those 2 guys.
Okay. So right now in the current Man United team, which 2 can work?
I don't think there's any 2 that can work. That's why I was devastated we didn't get Carlos Baleba from Brighton, because we needed that signing. We needed it. So that would have propelled us to a different level. Look, we can try. Kobe Mainoo is good for the short spaces. He's intelligent on the ball. Doesn't have that physicality that you would want. Ugarte is not consistent enough. Ugarte is not consistent enough, and I'm looking at those 2. Who's the other option?
I think that maybe because Ugarte is not he's not been giving his proper job to do. The gentleman is a disruptor. He's not somebody who can pass the ball to save his own life.
But in this system, you have to be able to pass the ball when the team is on the front foot, and that's the thing. You see, so I think Amorim is demanding a lot more from the players. Even if you are playing wing back, and that's why he wants a particular profile of players to fit the system.
Okay.
Well, United need to rectify that midfield problem. They need to get somebody in. If they have to bring somebody from the under 18s or under 21s, who's a natural, like how once upon a time Paul Pogba was given an opportunity. How we are a club that has been known to have quality in the youth ranks. Give somebody an opportunity, a natural player, somebody who's vested in that position, who's oriented to understand the system. Bruno Fernandes, when we don't have the ball, you look at him. His tackling is bad. His recovery, getting back into position. Okay. So he's a great player, but we are using him as a square peg in a round hole.
Okay. I guess the other big story, Liverpool's late win. Let's just touch on that, and then we can talk about Real Madrid getting themselves a win on the road. Barcelona hitting for 6. Brilliant display from Barcelona. Just quick thoughts on Liverpool and the late winner. Some people are upset that Liverpool were giving a lifeline. Some people say, well, if you persist, you will get yourself something.
Well, Nathan, I didn't watch that particular game. I didn't watch the entire game, but I did see the highlights, and occasionally I was monitoring what was happening. Now, Burnley practically played a 10-back system. They just came to frustrate. And, I mean, from their time at the Turf Moor in previous seasons gone by, you can tell that they are a very pragmatic team. They understand that the gulf in quality between themselves and Liverpool is wide. Let's just stop them. Let's just stop them. But you see, Liverpool, a team with quality, they will unlock you. They will find that opening. And then to be granted the penalty and the stoppage time, Mo Salah coming in, it's just dividend for pressure. When you are quality team, Man United have been in this position so many times, so I know. You put enough pressure, you force the handball, you force the tackle, you win the penalty later. Everybody says, oh, why did they give you a penalty? But the thing is that if you don't play the lottery, you won't win. If you don't press high enough, Liverpool wanted it. And there's moments...
And you kind of force teams...
You force the issue, you force them into errors. If you have enough quality, you press them down. Liverpool are showing signs of a champion. They are showing signs that they are serious about defending the champion. Unlike Chelsea, I mean, you take the lead with how many minutes to go, and you end up drawing 2-2 against Brentford. You are not serious about winning the league.
Was that they are doing? Was that Chelsea's fault?
It doesn't matter if it's their fault or not. At the end of the day, the scoreboard says 2-2. You are thinking about Bayern Munich midweek.
Yeah, I remember our first caller, Otumfo, was saying that, well, he felt Enzo Maresca was thinking about Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever that game is. So he didn't have an issue with the changed 11. 2 other fans who called said they had issues with Maresca's decision to change the starting 11. He should have gone strong.
Well, I won't agree. Vincent Kompany is trying to write a script at Bayern Munich, and we know that if he has the chance, I mean, looking at what happened at the World Club Championship, if he has the chance, he will put Chelsea to the sword. Look, Kompany is a manager that if you are loose, if he has to put 5 or 6 past you, he's going to do it. So I think Maresca is very, very wary. It's right. I mean, I don't think any coach goes into a game maybe 3 days ahead and says, oh, I'm not thinking about it. He is thinking about it. He was definitely thinking about that, and he altered his lineup. But then again, this is a Chelsea team with quality. You would expect that, I mean, fighting back to take a lead late on in the game, they should be able to hold on to it, if not add to the tally with an insurance goal. So Chelsea are not going to win the league. I've seen too many signs in the first part of the season.
It's a bit too early.
Look, and these are the games they should be winning. If you want to really win the league, because against the top 5 or 6 sides, you are not going to win all those games. You always drop points there. They all drop points amongst each other. But these are the games that you need to win. And that's what Liverpool is doing. I mean, so accurately. They are winning the winnable games. If Liverpool meets Chelsea and they play a draw, that's fine. We'll shake hands. But then they are doing the most important thing. I learned this from Alex Ferguson and many years supporting Manchester United as a fan. He will beat all the small teams 4-0, 2-0. When it's difficult, you grind out a 1-0 win. And maybe you meet Chelsea, lose. You meet Arsenal, play a draw. You don't have to win all the big games. You have to take care of these teams. Yeah. And Chelsea are showing that they are not fit to win the league.
Well,
they are not ready. They are not ready.
Chelsea fans will be happy with it. But Chelsea fans and all fans of English clubs, from 10:05, Yvonne Royome will be here with Total English Football, going over the high points from the weekend, all kinds of big stories from the weekend in terms of English football. So keep your dials locked on Sporty 106.1. All right, if you go to Spain quickly, Barcelona, they hit Valencia for 6. Wow. That was a solid display. Fermin Lopez getting a goal. Rafinha getting the second. Fermin again. Rafinha again. Lewandowski getting the final 2 goals. Marcus Rashford getting himself an assist in that game. He assisted Barcelona's second, which was Rafinha's first in that game. Eustace, your thoughts on this? Barca winning 6-0.
For the first time in the season, I heard Hansi Dieter Flick speak, and he said he was happy with the performance. This is what he likes. This is what he likes. Demolition exercises. 5, 6. Else is not comfortable. He wants to score as many as possible. And I think that was the theme for Barcelona last season as they rampage their way to the league. And I think it's going to be a very similar story. And this is why Real Madrid cannot afford to let Barcelona go ahead. I think they'll be miles ahead when it comes to goal difference, because a lot more teams are going to suffer the same fate when they are back to the Camp Nou. I mean, you would expect that maybe the return fixture at the Mestalla against Valencia should be much more difficult. But then again, he wants to take you to the cleaners in the home games. He wants to score as many as possible. I mean, 6 is not surprising coming from Dieter Flick and Barcelona. Well, no surprises there, but it's the way and manner they've done it. Lewandowski's come off the bench, scored 2 goals, and looks like everybody is fighting for the Pichichi already in the Barcelona team. And owing to the fact that they have guys in contention for the Ballon d'Or, I think the early part of the season gives them that perfect platform to be able to show certain qualities. So great start by Barcelona. I think it's going to be like a very familiar story all season long. Well, they are 2 points off Real Madrid. They are on 10 points. Real Madrid on 12. Bilbao, Getafe, both on 9. And then if you go to Germany, Bayern Munich, they beat Hamburg SV by 5-0. There are no surprises there. It looks like Bayern Munich do not want to leave anything to chance in Germany. They want to win that league and do well. Harry Kane looks more settled now. Company looks like he's finding a formula that works. I was one of the doubters, but let's see what happens to them as they play, especially as the Champions League returns this week. Bayern Munich at home to Chelsea, so that should be an interesting one. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send in your comments 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. I'll go through as many of your WhatsApp messages as possible before the show ends. Remember, at 10:05, we've got Total English Football for you. Yvonne Woyome will be here with her team to talk about the Premier League from over the weekend. They'll give you a deeper dive into the main stories. Man United losing the derby, Liverpool winning late, Arsenal getting a routine win there. Eberechi Eze, starting or getting minutes for Arsenal there. Victor Okere scoring. And I will talk about the other results as well. Spurs beating West Ham on the road. Mo Kudus doing really well. Bournemouth winning again. Newcastle beating Wolves, and all the other interesting stories from the Premier League from the last weekend. But last weekend, the World Athletics Championship in Japan started. Interesting stuff happening in Japan in terms of the World Athletics Championship. Our colleague Yao Fusulabi is there. We'll try and touch base with him as we move the conversation on. But it's happening in faraway Japan. Eustace, can you guess the time in Japan? I think I was speaking to Yao, and he said they were 9 hours ahead.
Very good. So it's 5:42 p.m. 5:42 p.m.
So the evening session will start soon.
So the evening session will start soon. I mean, I experienced that last year. I was in Japan for a week or so, and the time difference can drive you crazy because you leave Ghana, you are moving. Then you get there. And then, so when you communicate with your loved ones, when you call them, when it's daytime, you call them and say, oh, it's nighttime. I was like, how is it nighttime? It's daytime here. And then when you are sleeping, it's a very interesting mix of time. But that's how it is. We'll talk a bit about the World Athletics Championship in Japan We'll get to that in a bit. Eustace, let me take your initial comments and then I'll take some more comments around the table.
Yeah. So for the World Athletics Championships, I'm so pleased that we start these events with a 100-meter sprints. It actually gets the engagement that we need. But through to the final for the men's 100, of course, they are the ones who will have to speak about the most. The men's and the women's 100 meters determines who's the fastest person on the planet is. But we had top names in that race. Ajayi from Nigeria was a wild card. We didn't expect him to be in the final, but he was there and thought he had a fair chance as well as everybody. Noah Lyles this season has run the fewest races of the lot. He's been injured for part of the season, so coming into this championship, I think he knew at the back of his mind that he wasn't the best. He was just hoping race day adrenaline will probably drive him, and we've seen how he's able to reel other runners in the latter parts of a race. He was up against Oblique Seville, and that psychological jab that Noah Lyles put across to him, I think, brought out something in Oblique Seville, because even with the Jamaican qualification, the Jamaican nationals, Kishain Thompson won that with a personal best of 9.75. So Oblique Seville has always been under the radar, but this was his opportunity. So it was between Kishain Thompson, realistically, Oblique Seville, Noah Lyles, and Kenny Bednarik. I think these four were my front runners before. And they delivered. I mean, high quality race, running a personal best 9.77 to annex a world title. And only speaks to, I was telling my brother behind the scenes that it only speaks to the quality coaching that these Jamaicans and Americans receive.
Okay.
I don't think when it comes to talent-wise, we are very different from them. The inter-schools and colleges we run here is the same thing that happens in Kingston, in Jamaica, in the Carifta Games.
Mm-hmm.
Tina Clayton for Jamaica, who won silver medal 3 years ago, was running the Carifta Games.
Yeah. She and her sister Tia, right?
Yeah, they are twins. So Tia and Tina, I was following them when they were running those races, and their high school championships. She was 18. She was winning the under 20 against older girls. But look at the level of coaching that has gone in. Once again, I speak about coaching because I was talking about Oblique Seville and the fact that he's coached by Glenn Mills. Tina Clayton is coached by Stephen Francis. Stephen Francis is the same person who coached Safa Powell, same person who coached a few of the agrees. Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, even for majority of her time he was coaching her. So they received the proper coaching, and the Jamaicans don't have facilities in excess like the Americans. The Americans are very, very scientific, and you have to give them their plaudits as well. But you look at what has gone into preparing these girls and these guys for this final. I heard people when I was driving here, I heard people calling out Benjamin Azamati. And look, with athletics, you don't show up in a final of a world championship, or you don't show up and expect to run certain times through the rounds of a world championship when you haven't prepared. Look at Shakara Richardson. She's the defending champion from last season. She ran 10.65 last season, and this season she has barely broken 11 seconds. As she was coming, you saw in the final, she was fifth or sixth with the season's best of 10.94. She just barely broke 11 seconds. You can't come and give what you don't have.
Okay.
Azamati has not been running sub 10. His personal best is 9.90, and I feel that Azamati may not be able to achieve those heights again, because when he had the facilities, he had the coaching, when he was running at the NCAA level, when he ran at 9.90, he doesn't have that now. He doesn't have that coaching. He doesn't have that expertise. He's struggling to perch by other athletes to use their coaches. I mean, we heard stories about Bednarik and he trying to tag along, etc., etc. How is he going to give us Saminu's 9.84? And I'm worried even about Saminu, because Saminu is 26. He's older than Oblique Seville. He's older than Kishain Thompson, who's 24. Oblique Seville is 24. Saminu is 26. He's lucky to be receiving the training he is because he's in school. When he's done, I think he's in his final year, or one more year to final. But when he's done, the coaching is going to be a major issue. It's going to be like Azamati if we don't do something about it.
Amisti, let me bring you in. Our colleague journalist Amisti Noble is in studio. We'll get to Yao Fusulabi in a second. He is on the ground in Tokyo. Amisti, your thoughts on what we've seen so far in the World Champs? We saw the 100-meter final. Mm-hmm. We've seen the women's 100-meter final. Maybe we might want to talk a bit about Team Ghana because that's what concerns us here. Some callers were upset. Why does somebody? But I think Eustace has, spoken about that. But just your thoughts, and then we speak to Yao.
Since Eustace has done the Ghana, we're touch base with Africa.
Yes.
Because we are seeing more or less a deja vu.
Sporty FM.
Historically, if we talk about the World Athletic Championship, it has always been US and then Kenya.
Yes.
Because Kenya has won over 141 medals in all. It's only US that beats Kenya. So for us in Ghana, normally when it comes to sports, we wish for, but we don't put in. And we think what we wish for should happen overnight. Sports is not magic. It's purely science. When you talk about athletics, it's physics. So when you stay at home and you think because someone is wearing Ghana jersey, he needs to run 9.54 for you to see. That's not. Now, if you look at the 100 meters, I like the way the men in the last 2 years have caught up with the women. Because from 2016, and especially after Usain Bolt's era, the competition has always been with the ladies.
Yeah.
I.e. the Jamaican trio, plus any American duo or a single American. But over the last 2 years, we've seen the men catching up. If you look at the emergence of Kishan Thompson, Noah Lai switching to the 100 meters from 200 meters, then Tebuhu, after the World 20 Championships to the senior level, we've seen some engagement in the men's field. It used to be only the women. But now if you look at the times that the men are making, because even Kishan Thompson is the only sprinter in the last 10 years to have done 9.75. So it tells you how the men race are deep.
Yeah.
Whereas the women were making the times. Elaine Thompson in Japan did 10.54 seconds. And since we started sprinting from the days of Flujo, that's the second fastest ever the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
Then if you look at what happened yesterday with Jefferson doing 10.61.
10.61. Clayton 10.76. Julian Alfred 10.84.
And the magic was not even with Jefferson because Jefferson all season has not come second. First. Once she takes to the track, whether 100 or 200, no one has beaten her. But if you look at Julian Alfred, with that kind of injury, ACL, and to finish with that kind of time, it was quite amazing. Going to the race, it was always going to be her and Jefferson, with Clayton as the wild card amongst the three, because the surprise package was with Tia.
Yeah,
we were expecting to see Tia Rada, but it was Tina who, because of injury, Tia couldn't make it. It's rather Tina that we are seeing. And like my brother was saying, Jamaica, I think we can just pick what they are doing. It's more or less, it's not exactly the same as we think it is. The school games, the capital games, they've made it in the same way that if you are outside the Jamaica, it's more or less like an international event.
Yeah.
The competition there is very, very wide. Mind you, we are yet to see Wadi Nkrumah at the world level. But in 2 years at the capital and under 20 level, the kind of speed that boy was making. Then Brian level from capital to pro. So in Jamaica, the longest they've gone in the last 15 years is just 3 years with Usain Bolt. Now they can boast of 2 proper sprinters. Now 200 meters, we are about to start. People should watch out for Brian level. But if you look at a country like Jamaica, Kenya, they won Africa our first medal and it was good. We are going to see more from Kenya. And if you look at South Africa, look at what they are producing. My interest is in Africa because at the last Olympics, for the first time in about 20 years, we had 4 Africans making it into the 200 meters final.
Okay.
Then in this World Athletic Championships, 7 made it into the semi-final. We had 4 in it.
4 again.
4. So if you look at even Lyotilia, he's a new kid on the board in South Africa. So now after Simbini, it's supposed to be Bayanda Walaza, because due to injury, he couldn't make it to the World Athletic Championship. He withdrawn at the last hour. Now we are seeing Lyotilia, who can we bet our last coin on if it's about Ghana? We don't have anybody. Yes, for Saminu, like my brother said, we should be very, very mindful that we don't have more than 2 years.
Yeah. It's 26.
Once he's done with, not even the age, once he's done with the school, that's where the problem comes in.
Yes. 2 years left of school. Once they leave school,
this preparation that we've seen of him was made possible by his institution.
Of course, because he's in school.
And they prepared him for the Olympics. And he was the only Ghanaian to have qualified from the prelims to the semi-final at the last Olympics in the 100 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has done same here. That's consistency. But the issue is that once he
leaves school,
who is going to coach him?
That's the problem.
Jamaica is either MVP or, and look at the competition between the two coaches, Glenn Mills and Steve Francis. They are producing world-class athletes. Who do we have as?
I mean, there are a few other coaches as well.
No, but they are the A.
So, guys, you just hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts. Let's go to Japan. Let's speak with Yao Fosu Labi. He's our man on the ground. Yao, how are you doing? I think it's evening there, right? So good evening is in order.
It's 5:53.
Yes,
just 7 minutes to 6 p.m.
7 minutes to 6 p.m. Yes, I recognize the dusk in Tokyo. Your yeah, our friend and colleague Francis here is also behind him. Just thoughts on what all the things you've witnessed. I mean, people are blown away by Oblique Seville and all we've seen. Team Ghana's run so far. First question: What have the reactions been like since Seville crossed the line and became the new world 100-meter men's champion?
I think the Jamaicans just can't control themselves at this point. I mean, a lot of them that I spoke to earlier, I remember there was a video that I did where I was asking people in the stadium who they wanted between Laos and Kishain, because when Seville started the races, his first heat did not go particularly well. And so, it was a thought that he might choke in the final again. So there was a major question I kept asking, which was it going to be Kishain or Laos? But I think that Seville surprised me a bit. The only person who particularly knew that Seville was going to win was Fent, because Fent just kept saying that he feels like it was Seville's time and he was going to actually win. But I mean, it was really shocking for many of the people in the stadium. Not bad shock, but that kind of shock that makes you feel really good about yourself. That is how the Jamaicans were feeling. And it wasn't just the Jamaicans, actually. It was a lot of other nationalities at the Japan National Stadium. Everybody cheering Oblique Seville on. And it was a really good win for him. If you watch the race, I've watched the race about 20 times since it happened last night. And I can't tell you that, look, the last 10 meters of the race and what happened to Kishain Thompson, we all don't really understand what really happened to him, because look, he had it, and then just at the finish line, Oblique Seville just came to surpass him, and then he left out there. But that's really just how the sport is. Sometimes you have to start well, you have to finish properly, and that's what I think Kishain missed. But generally, it was a really good race. Yesterday as well, I mean, there was at the press conference, there was really good camaraderie between Kishain Thompson and Noah Lyles, because they were at the press conference together and they were talking about Japanese anime and how many anime books they've read and all of that. And I thought that it was a really nice touch. Kishain, really nice guy. Noah, I think that usually likes to get into the psyche of some of the athletes, and particularly Oblique Seville, because he knows him and he knows that if he's able to conquer Oblique psychologically, he's able to beat him. But yesterday, I think that Oblique's mind was just in the right place. He knew what he was doing, and he went in there knowing that he could potentially be a world champion. And with Usain Bolt in the stands, there's no better way to do it than to do it right in front of your idol.
Wonderful stuff there. And then we had the women's 100-meter final. Jefferson Wooding, I mean, she had been in good form coming into this, so I guess it wasn't a surprise. But just tell us, take us through the race and because it was a very stacked lineup in that final, with Shelley Ann Fraser-Price running her final race of her career.
Yeah. So I'll start with Shelley Ann. For Shelley Ann, I think that it's been a staggering career. I mean, if you've run more than 250 races at the world level, you know that it's just an incredible illustrious career. The first time she was at the World Championships was actually in Osaka in 2007, and she's able to end it here again in Japan in 2025. So it's been an illustrious career for her. 22 world titles, or 22 medals from the World Championships is just incredible. And I mean, she was ever so graceful at the interview session. You know, she spoke to quite a number of us, really in high spirits. Marie-José Talou-Smith as well also was in some really high spirits there. And, you know, for Marie-José Talou, she's been competing with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce for many, many years. And the two of them are friends. And, you know, we asked Marie-José if she's going to miss Shelly-Ann, and she said that she's going to miss Shelly-Ann's energy, Shelly-Ann's lights, you know, just the way, the enthusiasm that she brings to the sport, and the level of excitement she brings to training every time is something that Marie-José says she would miss. And also Shelly-Ann said, you know, she would also miss the track, but she's also looking forward to the 4x100 relay race, where she would compete for Jamaica again. But Melissa Jefferson, it wasn't shocking at all, because she's had a really good season. I think that this level of consistency in a season is something we've not seen for quite some time. And it's incredible, because the fact that she's also from the stable of Dennis Mitchell shows that Dennis Mitchell is doing something really, really well. Now, the World Championship record was in Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and then Sha'Carri Richardson came to break it at 10.65, and now Melissa Jefferson-Wooden has also broken that world record and has lessened it to 10.61. And so 2 of the world record times in 100 meters at the World Championships have all come from Dennis Mitchell. And so he will just he'll just hold his head up high. The only thing he needs to do now, or his biggest worry though, will be Kenny Bednarik, and how Kenny Bednarik would have to come into the 200 meters and give him a good time out there as well. But I think that it wasn't shocking at all. For Julian Alfred, I mean, she was disappointed with her race. I mean, and admittedly so, because she's also had a really good time, Olympic champion. You expect that she comes to the Worlds and does better than a bronze. But, you know, that's just how the sport goes. You know, Tina Clayton had a really good start. She powered through the race really well. She couldn't get through to Melissa Jefferson, but she did what she had to do to get that silver medal. But I mean, Julian Alfred cried a bit in the mixed zone, which was really sad. But that's just really how the sport goes, and I think she'll learn from this. And the update though is that she's not running in the 200 meters because she tore her hamstring yesterday. So her competition has actually ended essentially, and she's not going to be here. We are not going to see Julian Alfred again at this World Championships until probably the next.
I see. What's the schedule looking like? Because I suspect you're on your way to the evening schedule. What's on the menu in terms of the evening schedule?
Well, the evening schedule has the semi-final for the men's 400 meters, which has become increasingly competitive on that front as well. Muzala Samukonga, the Zambian who won gold at the African Games, won bronze at the Olympic Games, has also qualified. Now he looked really flustered after his race because the heat was really, really tough. But I think that one thing we need to note though is that the 400 meters is an area where the Africans have taken really, really seriously, and they're looking like it's a sport that they are not going to have anyone take it lightly. The fastest time in the 400 meters this year has been from Zakitinen, the South African, but he's not the only South African. There are quite a number of South Africans in there who have qualified for the semi-final. There's Indori as well from Botswana who has also qualified. And so, look, it's going to be a really tough field in the 400 meters there. And then there's Kirani James, who's a veteran in the sport. His last world title came in 2011. That was his first, actually. And then he won a gold medal again at the London Olympics. And so he is a veteran of the sport, 35 years old, and he's still making World Championship semi-finals. And so we're up for it, and we are going to see what they can give us in a really, really good, high-quality race period. But also, there'll be the 1,500 to look forward to, and some others. Today isn't particularly one of those days where we have a lot of finals, and so it's going to be pretty quiet and easy, but I think that it will still be very, very competitive.
Just finally, before the competition started, there was a lot of talk about the weather, the heat you are there. Is it as hot as the reports make it out to be? And what have the athletes been saying about the weather?
Nathan, it is extremely hot. It is extremely hot, and it is humid, and that's really just how it is. Yesterday, I mean, if I had a face towel, I would have soaked it because it was really, really hot, and the sweat never stops. But I mean, I was asking the African athletes, particularly the ones from the much colder countries like South Africa, Kenya, and the rest. I asked Omanyala about it, and he said, the weather was fine. He said the heat was okay for running. For a running competition like this, so he didn't feel anything at all. Also for some of the Americans, I think that they have run in some really high conditions, especially quite a number of them here have run at the World Championships in Doha, which was as hot as here, and so they know how the temperatures could get high. And so yeah, it's hot, but it's not so bad for an athletics competition to be organized and to be running. So I think that is good for the athletes and it's good for us. The only thing for us journalists is that you have to run along the stairs up and down so many times because you have to go up to the media tribune, come to the mix zone, try not to miss any interviews when they are coming through the mixed area. And so that is when, we are feeling the heat a lot more because we are doing a lot more running up and down stairs and all of that than possibly the athletes. I mean, for 100-meter runners, by 10 seconds, they are done. Yeah. But I'm running for hours because I need to get up and down the stairs and go to the media center, making sure that I'm getting all the information about the races and all of that. So yeah, it's pretty hectic, but it's something that we can manage. But I mean, I must tell you that the temperature is actually quite hot. Today we checked the temperature and it was around 33 degrees Celsius. Wow. Later this evening it's going to come down to about 29, which will be thankfully very, very good for us. So that's just how it is about the weather.
What about Team Ghana? When next are we seeing a Ghanaian on the track or on in the field?
So we are seeing a Ghanaian next on the track tomorrow in the men's 800 meters where Alex Amankwa will be participating. Alex Amankwa was at the African Games and he didn't do particularly well. But I mean, his career though has been really, really checkered. Alex Amankwa came through somewhere in 2014. He's been running for quite some time. He went into the doldrums for a bit because he wasn't qualifying for major championships. But to have him qualify for the World Championships is a really huge deal. And I think that he's had a fantastic 1 year or two. So hopefully he can bring his A game. But we know that the 800-meter race is for one man and one man only. The man from Kenya, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, and he will be looking to give us his best this time around as well. And then the record holder, actually, David Rudisha, is in town. So David Rudisha might probably be at the stadium. If anybody can break his world record, he'll be at the stadium to see how that unfolds. But yeah, that's the 800 meter for you. On Wednesday, Ibrahim Fuseni will be on the track for the men's 200 meters. Then on Thursday, Rosia Boa would also be there for the high jump. So, I mean, I think that for the next few days, there will be a lot of Ghanaian action. And then the relays will come on Saturday, which will be at the very tail end of the competition. So, I mean, the Ghanaians will be participating really well and thick and fast in the last few days. So all the updates will be given out to all Ghanaian fans and everybody else. But I must say that the attendance, though, at the Japan National Stadium has been hugely incredible. Look, the Japanese love athletics. They are cheering athletes on. Yesterday, when Shelley-Ann Fraser-Pryce was introduced and his face and her face was shown on the Jumbotron, it was excitement. And she mentioned that she was really touched by the kind of reception she got from the Japanese crowd. It just goes to show how much of a superstar she is on the tracks. If you are being cheered all the way in the Far East, you should just know that you've done really, really well for yourself. And I think that kudos to the Japanese fans, kudos to the local organizing committee as well. They've done an immense job getting everybody in shape. And, it's just proper organization, really. I mean, Nathan, you have been to Tokyo. You know how it is.
yeah, I know.
Look, everything is just on points. Like, transportation is on points. For journalists as well, the media center has anything. It doesn't have, proper food that you can eat, but it has, like, snacks and fruits and that kind of thing. So the whole thing has been organized really, really well. whatever information you need, you can get. And everybody's just really cooperative. And I say, the local organizing committee, I mean, congratulations to them as well. It's been a really good tournament so far.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll leave you to be on your way to the stadium. I'm sure there are updates and all of that you'll give us a little later.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nathan. And thank you to everybody. Please say hi to Raymond for me. Raymond and Immortal, my man.
I'll tell them. Yeah, take care. We'll catch up later.
All right, okay.
All right, so that's Yao Fusulabi. He's our man on the ground at the World Athletics Champs. Remember that the coverage is live on Sporty FM, Sporty TV, and on YouTube as well. And all of that is proudly sponsored by Stanbic Bank. All right, let me run today's schedule by you for those who are a little confused. There's the men's 400-meter hurdles heats. Then you have the men's long jump, which is the qualification. The men's pole vault final is at 10:49 a.m. Ghana time, which is 7:49 p.m. in Japan. And we all know that everybody's there to watch one man and one man only.
Yeah.
Mundo Duplantis. Now we want to see where he will take it now, because he owns the records and he breaks them as and when he wants. So we'll wait to see what it is that he will be doing. He will be doing there. Men's 110-meter hurdles, the heats, women's hammer throw final, women's 100-meter hurdle semi-final, and then the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase final, and then the women's 100-meter hurdles final. Africa's got strong representation. Toby Amushan of Nigeria, she's been doing big things in that space there. So, I mean, as I said, Sporty FM's coverage of the World Athletics Championship is proudly powered and sponsored by Stanbic Bank. Nigeria have their own drama on the side with athletes not being registered, and they have more officials than athletes. We'll talk about Nigeria. But Amici and Eustace, so you're expecting, Amici, let me stay with you. Let's talk about what next. What are some of the bigger things we should expect going forward? You heard Yao. Team Ghana will be back on the track in the next few days, 200 meters. Then there's the relay a little later. There's Rosie Aboa who will be taking part in the women's high jump.
I think Ghanaians should not be expecting anything more, except that we have to pray for Rose. I think the way we prepared Rose for the last outdoor event, that was the Paris 2024.
The Olympic Games.
I saw her and I described the way she entered Paris as an
Sporty FM.
The preparation we put for her for the last Olympics was though an orphan.
Oh, okay.
Traveling from the village to Accra. This is a lady per the records that and the meters that she had jumped en route to Paris could have won Ghana at least a bronze. But like my brother was saying, in athletics, it's purely science. It's not about what we wish for. We couldn't prepare her properly. And even going to this event, you can count on her own preparation via the college.
Okay.
But as a nation, what do we put out for her? It's the same journey that she took to Paris. If I knew how to pray, I would have prayed properly for her, because the potential in her and where she landed, I think she should have been born in either Australia or maybe Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
Because if Rose was indeed born in Ghana and has been able to achieve this feat in the last 3 years, I always see her and I look through their eyes. I always tell myself, what a magician this lady is. I hope she gets through with the weather. Like I was saying, if you've been to Tokyo before, Japan or South Korea, the weather can be very tough. If it's cold, it's very cold.
If it's hot,
it's very hot. It's the type of weather that you feel within your bones. So I hope she is adequately prepared for these events. She's the only one that I can count on. For the rest, we can only wish again. I don't think if you compare the times and you decode the times against the other nations, I don't think we have what it takes to win a medal. But really, one thing is that if the team is good, you necessarily don't need to be the fastest. If the changing is okay and someone gets it wrong, you might have the opportunity to win something. But if you are going straight on what is on the paper, then Ghana we only have Rose and nothing else.
But even with Rose, are you confident she will medal? Because I don't think she will.
Like I said earlier, when I said that, if I knew how to pray.
No, because
the preparation we gave her en route to this event is the same as what we did for her regarding Paris.
Yeah.
So I hope she can pull some magic. Aside that, for the 4x1 relay, sometimes you see Ghanaians are over the time we watch television, we wish our 4x1 relay team will win us gold. And the moment someone fought her, Azamati is the one who made the mistake. The US they've invested a lot of money into that zone. For years, they're not winning it. And you think because you have Azamati, you have Rashid, within 4 years, you need to win twice.
No.
I think the qualification should be enough for us. Let's not kid ourselves.
if we get to the final, it's fine.
It's fine.
Making the final is
Making the final is our trophy.
It's big enough.
We are not going to win it. We are not going to medal. That's the truth of the matter.
As for winning out.
Look, and you see, just to put the issue Amisty was saying into perspective, this season, the highest jump by any woman is 2.04 meters.
That's Oli from Aussie.
Oli, the Australian.
Yeah.
Oli has jumped 2.04.
2.04.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Rose Yeboah has a personal best of 1.97.
197.
This season, she's jumped 1.93. And Nathan, if you follow athletics or you follow track and field, you should know that, that 1 centimeter change is a big deal.
Very, very huge.
1.97, 1.98, 1.1. And that's why the bar is lifted by 1 centimeter in competition. So she's like 7 or 8 centimeters off the world leading mark.
Yeah.
She's going to have probably, and within that range, we are going to have probably between 8 to 10 athletes who are capable of doing that. So she doesn't only have to beat her personal best of 1.97. She has to go over 2 meters, at least maybe 2.02 to be able to say, okay, I'm in the medal zone. If we are lucky and it's low-level competition and everybody's jumping maybe just 2 meters, she still has to break her personal best of 1.97 to get there. And I don't think she's in the form to do it. I mean, I've seen a few events of hers this season, and she's also in the NCAA system.
Yeah.
So what we are seeing now is most likely the best version of her. We will see. She's 23 years old. She has more time ahead of her. But you see, my constant plea is for us to get involved. We're having a small debate outside there. And I was saying that if we can spend $1.3 million on 2 Black Star matches. So effectively, let's just say we are spending $500,000 or $600,000 on every Black Star match. We play about 10 of these matches to get to a World Cup that will give us $10 million, where we'll get out of the group stage. What $2 or $3 million can do in track and field is unimaginable. Now, the project in Jamaica that brought Usain Bolt, Nesta Carter, Michael Frater, that generation, Johan Blake, even young Shelley and Fraser Price, the government made an intentional effort and invested $3 million. $3 million spread over a period of like 4 years.
Okay. Now, if you say the government invested, what did they invest in?
Infrastructure, coaching. So people talk about Glenn Mills.
Yes.
Glenn Mills, for instance. Glenn Mills said he loved athletics. He loved track and field.
Yes.
He didn't have the physique for it. He was very bad at it when he was young. So he always found himself sitting around watching people who were doing track and field.
Yeah.
He was so interested in it that he decided that he was going to assist. So initially he was like a kids guy. Just wanted to be around the event every time. Got a scholarship from the federation, the Jamaican Athletics Federation. I think he went to Europe, studied for an extended period of time. And after that, he's probably had like 2 or 3 full courses. I'm not talking about what the Ghana Athletics, the refresher courses, they'll go and do 2 weeks. No, I'm not talking about any of those. Proper training. Look at Glenn Mills' profile. I don't know if it's Estonia or Switzerland. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's been there. He's well trained. He knows exactly what to do. And look, I felt that he was the real deal in the 2007 World Championships when Tyson Gay beat Usain Bolt.
Sporty FM.
He looked at that race and said that Bolt needed just a little power and gym work in his calves. And the next year he was going to be ready for Gay. And he's good.
And of course, his poor his poor technique.
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of people don't know this. You said
so
technique at the start was terrible.
No, it still never got perfect. Michael Johnson always said it never got perfect. Yeah. But you see, he has advantages nobody else does. When you are shorter, you have a lower center of gravity. Yeah. Bolt has a longer stride length. And when was it? I was telling Gary that everybody runs the 100 meters in 44 steps. Bolt runs it in 40 or 41. So more energy conserved. Poor technique, but he has a lot to make up for it. And you see these small details when a coach tells you that he watches a race. So Bolt and Glenn Mills both said 2 years ago or 3 years ago that Oblique Seville is going to be world champion. Nobody took them seriously, but obviously it was something they were working on. And there's a few dynamics, the science, the diet, what you understand. And I've seen Glenn Mills do it from Kim Collins, who was world champion in 2003. I've seen. So the coaching is the difference. When you were speaking to Kawawa, we were talking about Shakari Richardson last year, 1065. And then this year, Melissa Jefferson, 1061. They are all coming from the stables of one coach. Dennis Mitchell, who trains in Florida with the girls. He has a few other athletes, Kenny Bednarek also. So just look at the top profile coaches. Glenn Mills was not, he had the love for the thing. I mean, he was sponsored to go. I don't know whether that was by the federation or that was by the government, but he got the opportunity to learn. And if we invest in coaching, because the talent we have at our our inter-schools and colleges, I've watched the Jamaican one. It is the same thing.
Very similar.
It is the same thing. The only difference is their development plan. When Bolt ran the first Olympics in Athens in 2004, and in the 200 meters and came fifth, from 2004 to 2008, the training regimen that he went through with Glenn Mills went for him. He said, give me 4 years, I'll prepare this guy for the Olympics. Unfortunately, Tyson Gale was injured at the time of the Olympics, so that rivalry couldn't come on. And that's why Bolt was playing around in the final, around that 969. But the following year, when Tyson Gale showed up, we saw the world record lowered to 9.58. Yeah. And that was the fittest he has ever been. So there are dynamics to these things. We are not investing in the infrastructure. Even the Jamaicans, I always say that the infrastructure, they don't have it as well as the Americans, but they have the coaching. They have the coaching. If we have the coaching and we don't even have the infrastructure, we can do a certain level of preparation at this level here. The Athletics Federation, I mean, they should try. If it's sponsorship, if it's Puma, if it's Nike, I mean, if they show what we are doing at our school, our inter-school level, we should be able to attract. We are spending $500,000 or $1 million on every Black Star match. 10 matches, that's $5 million. $3 million got the Jamaicans a project that was running. Now people go to the Cariftas games as if it's some tourism project. Nathan, we have a long way to go. You see, the relay, when do we start camping them? We camp them 2 weeks to a tournament. And the relay is team chemistry, is cohesion, is telepathy. You need to understand when to take off. You are in the changeover zone, where you receive, where you give off the baton. The maximum speed at which the person is, you call for the hand. The hand is straight at a certain angle. These things don't take 2 weeks to perfect.
No, they take years.
And look at the Americans. Months. For so many relays, you see the Americans dropping the baton, even with all their preparation. With the fact that they are even zoned around one country. So the relay, we should manage our expectations. If we get to the final, we've done very, very well. The Japanese, surprisingly, do very well in the relays in the past, 10 years or so, or 12 years, the Japanese and the Chinese as well. Yeah. You can see that they do well in the relays because it's not really about the individual speed of the athlete. Is about how quickly the baton goes round.
You talk about Glenn Mills. I'm just going through what he's done with himself, right?
And I was even going to say he had going to this championship. He had 6
athletes.
Yeah,
winning.
Or 6
no, 6 of it. No, just 4, but winning 6 gold.
6 gold
because both alone gave him 3. And then Kim Collins from St. Kitts and Nevis Island 1. Johan Blake 1. Then yesterday Oblique Seville. So prior to this one, it was 5.
It was 5. Now yesterday, he has 1.
6.
Now I'm talking. If you go through what Glenn Mills himself was taught.
Yeah.
So Glenn Mills had to go through training to understand. Listeners, check this out: anatomy, agility, coordination,
and anatomy. We're talking about composition of the human body.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anatomy, agility, coordination, talent ID, and biomechanical analysis. And all of that was done through courses organized by the IOC, IAAF, and other respected organizations. So back to the thing. So it's not,
it's not a refresher course.
No, it's proper grounding where,
yes,
because to spot an athlete's faulty technique, you need to have the eye to see that there's something wrong with your technique. And we tweak it. Then you're right. I always say that the difference between what we experience here and the top level is coaching.
Coaching.
To hone the talent, because the ability to run is natural.
Has anybody ever wondered why Johan Blake fell off? Because Glenn Mills runs the racers track.
Yes.
I think Stephen Francis is the MVP. But Johan Blake had arguments with Glenn Mills
and left.
And when he left, his career started going on the decline. Look, Johan Blake had muscular problems. He had a very weak hamstring, and Glenn Mills wanted to manage the way the number of races he had and everything. Of course, Blake disagreed a few times, and he left. Once he left, he started fading away straight. By the Tokyo 2016 Olympics, he didn't even get on the podium. He was done. Now he runs races and he's last. But I think his biggest mistake was to leave the camp of Glenn Mills. Kishane Thompson, a lot of people talk about the fact that he can't finish well in the last 10 meters. Look, Kishane hits his top end speed. And yesterday I was talking to Fent about this. He hits his top end speed at 70 to 90 meters. After 90 meters, he holds the speed, unlike a Bolt who will accelerate and increase it all through. Now, people are complaining that Kishane Thompson doesn't run the 200 meters. If you run the 200 meters, it will give you better endurance. So running 150 won't be a problem. Yes, that's a logical thing. But what people don't know is that Kishane Thompson has a lot of problems with his hamstring. He manages the number of races he runs because he easily gets injured. After the Olympics, when Noah Lyles pipped him on the line, when was the next time anybody saw him? He got injured. So he to running the 200 meters would help him. However, I don't think his body is in that condition to be able to run 200 meters.
Okay. So it is why in a race, Seville, whilst Seville's speed is almost increasing towards the end,
he's holding.
Kishane Thompson would almost flatten out.
And you see, the first 30 meters is a dry phase. That's when you see them coming upwards. The body angle is getting up until they stand upright.
And then, so that's about.
So by the end of the dry phase, usually he's leading everybody. Christian Coleman has an excellent dry phase for the USA. And you look at Oblique on the night. He had his perfect. I mean, when you look at the reaction times from the starting tracks, I think Oblique had the fastest.
Yeah, he did. He did have the fastest.
And they were the first. So after the dry phase, I mean, they were neck and neck. I think Kishane even was slightly ahead. But you see, between 30 and 70, top end speed is achieved.
Seville's reaction time was 0.157.
Sure.
That's fast.
But beyond the speed, if you look at Kishane Thompson at the last Olympics, the same thing happened yesterday. You see, with him, he has this psychological issue. At the Olympics, he was aiming at one man, the former Olympic champion and Akini Simbini. So he was aiming at his left. Now, at 80 minutes, he realized that no one was closer to him. So, he never watched his right. Before he realized someone from the right had taken the lead. And the one coming from behind would rather see you. So Noah Lyles was watching him as the target, and he was speeding up whilst he was sustaining his speed, and he got him on the line. Yesterday, he knows Seville. The whole Jamaica, everybody knows the distance between Seville and Kishane Thompson. So in, I think, 25 minutes before the semi-final, on the heat track, Noah Lyles did his thing. He went to him, trying to play the mind games, and they were even sacking him to go away. They said, no, this man, he cannot even qualify for the final, just to get into him. In the final, he was then in the same lane with Noah Lyles, and he thought he was the main target. Lyles was on his left again. All that he was aiming at the last 20 meters was his left. He never watched the right. And again, from the right, Oblique Seville bypassed him and had the win. So after the Olympics, the coach said that the boy needs to have his psychological game also. It's not always about the speed. Because you might have the speed, but if you don't know how to do the calculation, you might falter at the point. And that's what happened to him. If he's not careful, he's going to be a cheerleader, leading people to win the gold medal always. Because when it comes
eventually you get it.
The issue is that when it comes to speed, there's nobody on this planet today that can match Kishan Thompson.
In terms of speed.
Like he himself said in March, that the only person that can beat him is himself. And that emanated from Francis and Glenn Mills. I haven't watched him after 60 meters and his reaction over the time. Like my brother was saying, his build up, he has some negativity when you look at the anatomy. But then that psychological edge to finish properly is also causing him. And how long are we going to wait for him again?
He's also 24 years old. Still by Los Angeles 2028. I'm sure he will be in peak form.
Let's hope so. But I have an issue though with Jefferson.
Yes.
Melissa Jefferson.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you watch athletes train over years.
Let's try and wrap it up so we can do the boxing.
Train over years, win medals, and maybe 4 or 5 years later, issue of doping then set in. The news en route to this final was that her coach, Mitchell, and Mitchell during his running had this issue with doping, and there's one investigation that he has been fingered again. So I fear for the lady that maybe in the next 10 years she might be stripped off, and the competition within the American athletes is very, very bad. I saw a tweet from my own lady. What's the name? The former 200-meter champion at the Olympics. What's the name?
Gabby
Thomas.
Gabby Thomas.
He virtually inciting the world against the young lady that she fears for the future for Melissa Jefferson because of Dennis Mitchell. I thought, wow, how can you do this to your own country? And interestingly, the lady was asked post-race, and she said she likes engaging people who loves her around, and she cares less about anyone who has negative talk about her. So she is rather concentrating in the activity side of her.
I don't think this is a big deal because when Bolt was dominating, it was the same thing. I mean, they were even actually testing Bolt.
His was constant.
No, they were testing him more than
any other
more than what they should have.
And Carl Lewis was always on him.
Yeah.
Because always on him.
Always felt that, but Bolt was very
But the
careful.
thing is that Bolt is a man. Look at a young lady. Melissa Jefferson is very young.
Yeah.
So she doesn't need this kind of off-track pressure.
No, but when you dominate like that, people look, there will be negativity.
And hence it's coming from within.
Yeah, there will be negativity. I mean, it doesn't matter where it comes from. But Nathan, there will be negativity with success. Look, the girl is undefeated. She's run sub 10.8 this season 8 times. 8 times already. Sub 10.8. 8 times. She's run consistently. I mean, she's only run one race. And that was the first race of the season where she ran 11 seconds.
So that was April 5th, 11.111.
That's the only time.
Then from there, May 2, 10.575, 10.73, June 1, July 5th, 10.75, July 31, 10.86, 10.84, 10.65, 10.66, 10.76, 10.99.
With this consistency.
So look at the consistency.
With this consistency, there will be questions. I mean, but then if she's clean, she's clean. There's nothing to be worried about.
Well, the World Athletics Championships have started really well in Japan. As you heard, Team Ghana will be on the track again, 200 meters, and then the relays, and then you have Rosie Yeboah on the field doing the women's high jump. We'll keep you updated all the way through. You won't miss anything. Just follow us on Sporty FM, watch it on Sporty TV, and you can watch that on YouTube. Yao Fosula will be bringing you more updates. You can follow our socials as well. All of that powered by Stanbic Bank. All right, now let's go to Las Vegas. Wow. Terrence Bud Crawford, the pride of Omaha, did the unthinkable, if you like. Went up 2 weight classes, took on the behemoth that was Saul Canelo Alvarez. In about that many people felt Crawford should not have taken. Said it was a risk. You are moving up 2 weight classes. You need to put on extra weight. Now, in doing that, will you sacrifice your speed and technique? Canelo is there. He's the stronger guy, the bigger puncher. And you've seen the number of boxers he's laid to waste. But Crawford said, no way. I'm taking that challenge. And Eustace and Amisti, I've seen boxers fight. But what I saw Sunday morning was a brilliant masterclass in how to handle a boxer or how to handle a strong boxer, a technically sound boxer, a boxer who had a certain advantage over you. And Crawford handled the assignment really, really, really well. That was a brilliant performance, guys. It was a solid performance. Eustace, you are also watching. Initial thoughts, and then I go to Amisti for his comments.
Well, it was a big one, and there was a lot of hype before this one. People were saying that since we had maybe De La Hoya, Bazooka, Quarty, or since we had Pac-Man and Mayweather, we haven't had a fight in the mid-range area that has been this, advertised. And I think initially I also felt the hype was a lot, but when fights started, I mean, we watched the undercards. I was in studio, we were doing a watch along, we watched the undercards, and then when the fight started, I realized that these were two intelligent boxers. But then Crawford I think he's better than people give him credit for. He came into this fight with a 41-0.
Yeah, he was undefeated.
But the major question everybody was asking was, who had he fought? The 41 fighters, 31 KOs. Who had he fought? So if you ask him himself, Terrence Crawford, you tell his biggest fight is Ricky Benz. And Ricky Benz, no reach like that. You understand? So there were questions. I mean, even though it was a flawless record, there were questions about whether he was a worthy champion. And Canelo is 35, has more fights. Canelo has, 67? 67 with 2 draws and 2 losses. So he's won 63 fights. Now, that is Canelo for you. And it could even be more because there are probably like 10 undocumented fights from Mexico that wasn't added.
Sure.
So he has a lot of experience.
So she was 71 prior to this one.
Yeah. So
71 in 71 fights
in all
totally
prior to this one. So this
what they are sure of is what they are going with. They are going with 67 fights.
Well, it says 65, 63, 3 and 2.
Yeah.
So 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws.
So it was 2 each before the loss this weekend. So going into that, so I was right about the figures. Anyway, but Canelo has fought a lot of people. He's fought Ricky Hatton, who died recently, yesterday. Rest in peace to him. May his soul rest in peace. But he's fought Ricky Hatton. He's fought Floyd Mayweather. He had the more high-profile opponents in his draw. So everybody thought Canelo is powerful. He's 35 years old, but he has this record, and he had a very short amateur career as well because he turned pro at 15. Because they couldn't find opponents that were ready to face him. He was dominant. But this is a strong guy. And when push came to shove, he came up against the touch of a master. And I've always said that for a boxer, especially when you are not in the heavyweight division and you are in the mid-range, welterweight, middleweight, super middleweight, you are in that range, your footwork is your strength. Your footwork, how you are able to get in. Crawford is a boxer who's multi-skilled. He can fight from the orthodox position.
Fights the southpaw.
And he's able to switch in fight. So when you trap him and he's in the southpaw, using maybe his left, his right has the lead jab. The left hook is open. When you're trying to, the way he slips and his footwork is so brilliant, and he's able to do it. Late in the latter part of the fight, I could see that Canelo's legs were giving because he was head hunting. He was looking for the knockout point. I think he realized he was behind on all the scorecards. He was head hunting, looking for it. But the management of somebody who has moved up 2 weight divisions, the skill, the speed, and the way, I mean, even his head movement, he was so difficult to punch. And he was like a sharper version of Mayweather. I was saying that in the studio before the fight ended. So when Canelo said that this guy is better than Mayweather, I saw that he felt, it was like a float, like a butterfly, sting like a bee kind of thing. Because he couldn't touch him with all his power. He couldn't touch Crawford. He was very, very intelligent. And I think kudos to him. It was a great boxing bout. Canelo gave it his all. But then again, you can tell that the versatility of Canelo has a limit. He can't improvise. The ring IQ is not like Terrence Crawford. It's the ring IQ that makes it for me. Because throughout history, we know that boxers who can think on their feet, who can generate a game plan in the ring, are the ones that Canelo couldn't outthink him. I mean, his corner kept telling him. I was reading their lips through the rest.
Yeah.
The rest periods, and they were telling him like you need to go for the knockout. I'll get him. I
mean, as it went on, as it went on, you could tell now Canelo was trying to find a way of stopping the bout because it was beginning to go away from him in terms of points because Crawford's jab. Crawford had outpointed Canelo, obviously, and you could tell.
In fact, I was rather pity watching Canelo. See, if you are talking about legendary fighters in this trade, one of them is Canelo Alvarez. Mm-hmm. He had fought many stars, except that no one has this kind of IQ in the ring that Terrence Crawford has. I think in round 4 or 3, after the bell, Crawford bench was telling him that, look, he's trying to go down. He was trying to give the space. Mm-hmm. And in terms of calculation in the ring, no, he's a master. So he rather taught Canelo the distance he should use in order to get him. Mm-hmm. And that was what did the trick for him. So Canelo was just trying to figure out at what distance and do I go with a jab, a hook? And I think 7th round or so, he nearly got him, but the right couldn't catch him. Mm-hmm. He did his normal hook to open up, but before he threw, the guy was off. Yeah. And that one will lead you into panting for breath because you'll be hitting the air.
No, and I think just not to interrupt you, but when Canelo goes for his power punches, he's unable to follow up because Terrence has a way of counter punching you. Yeah. His counter punches are fast. And before you realize you might be on the floor.
There were so many times when Crawford had the counter punch.
Yeah, so you go in 1-2 and before you see it's coming your way. Yeah. And so you need to retreat.
And what makes it more dangerous is because he is rather ambidextrous in terms of angling.
Yes. So because he can fight either way.
Whilst you are one way. So you will then rely on the hooks to open up the new hit. So if you watch the fight 2-3 times and realize that no, though Canelo was the bigger man, but on the night he didn't even look like a professional boxer.
He was neutralized.
Yeah. Crawford took away the size advantage.
Yes.
Totally.
And you know how he did it? He kept him at arm's length. Yeah. So Canelo likes to fight on the inside.
Exactly.
Like Roberto Duran. Yeah. From the
fight
80s.
Up close, in the inside.
And then uppercuts, let's exchange like a street brawl. Crawford was intelligent, kept him at that pace. And you see, Crawford proved that you can't bully him. When he tried to corner him and cut him off, like what George Foreman used to do, when Terrence Crawford tried to move, I'm cutting you off. You cut him off by the footwork with which he weave his way out of it
I could
and
see
bring
that.
You to the center of the ring.
There's fights in the center,
I mean, it's the fight IQ for me.
And mind you, I've never seen a boxer so candid in post-fight analysis in the last 20 years than what Canelo did. Yeah. He brought everything to the ring. He realized he couldn't. Soon after the fight, look at the interviews. Look at how he defined Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. Look at the camaraderie between the two boxers. Yeah. If it had been a different boxer, he would try finding excuses, unnecessary excuses. But he said even this guy is better than.
Yeah, he said this guy is better than Mayweather.
He brought everything. Mind that Canelo is not just a boxer, but a fighter. Is it round 7 or so when he tried using the head-to-head?
The headbutt,
the headbutt.
Then I felt the Mexico in him.
Yeah.
I said,
no, he was trying to get rough.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
He had tried all the skill. It was not working. So then he remembered Guadalajara. Let me go the street way.
Go the street way. Let's headbutt.
And he did hit him.
Let's go that way.
And I think the referee too was very, very alert. Very, very overly alert. He really managed the fight very carefully. If he had been inexperienced referee, maybe something
he may have missed it. The referee was really solid in how he handled.
He really opened their eyes, and even whenever they come together, the referee had a way of managing the. For me, I think Terrence's 41-0 prior to this fight wasn't his fault, and after the fight, I said no. We as journalists and lovers of boxing, we want the best to always fight with the best. Yeah. But I've now realized the reason why promoters kept away their boxers from Terrence Crawford because he's the most dangerous in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Terrence Crawford is a very dangerous man to go into the ring with.
The answer he was giving people who was telling him that who has he fought, he was just trying to answer them negatively. But the most proper boxer he had fought prior to this one was Errol Spence. his own friend.
Yeah, and he demolished. And that was a very easy job.
No, it looked easy, and that's why he doesn't want to count it as one of his biggest fights.
According to him, because they were that close, they knew each other.
Yeah.
But he was surprised the way his friend opened up at that point in time for him, at that range.
Yeah. I watched that bout. You know, it was really close up until like the 6th when it changed. And now you could tell that Bud was now dominating. And he really tore apart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't have anything left.
Bud figures you out.
Yes.
In the first 3 rounds of this fight, he was cautious.
The first round, he didn't land any proper. I think he spent the first round sizing Canelo up.
Now hold on. I like the way the analysis is going. You said first 3. You said
I think that first round.
Now I will give you very good and you excellent. You know what? The first round, both boxers. I've not seen this in a while.
They didn't land anything.
How many?
But you know why he won the round? You know why he won the round? Because he out-jabbed him.
I get it. He's counting. Use this. The first 30 seconds of the bout.
No, the whole 3 minutes was steady.
You could tell they were just feeling. The jabs were there, but it was a feel out.
Yes.
I think it was after the first round that Bud saw everything he needed.
Exactly.
Then he built his game plan from there.
No, so he realized. I think what both of them realized after the first round was that this thing is not going to end in a knockout.
Clearly not.
Yes. The defense of both of them
clearly
was not going to allow a knockout.
So it was a matter of.
So I'll outpoint you.
Exactly.
And Terrence got to work early.
That's what I'm saying.
In the second round, he was working.
Round one was the feel out round for him.
For both.
Then he went. Canelo probably caught up a little later. Canelo's best round was probably round 6.
5 or
6.
No, 5.
5. That was his best round.
And he went off after 7.
After 7.
Because the stamina looked suspect.
When the headbutting didn't work.
Yeah, then you could tell that now he was in trouble. 11 and 12, Canelo went for the kill. But really knew where he was. Right? He knew where he was, I think, on the cards. He knew that, let me persist. Let me keep landing, because if you notice, the power punches or the head punches went in favor of Bud. Bud landed over 100 of the head punches. Yeah. So you could tell that he knew what he was about. I think it was a game plan executed to a T.
Yeah.
And I think if anybody has doubts over Crawford's place in boxing, don't doubt the man anymore.
Never.
I think this fight.
No one will. He really proved in the night.
Yeah.
I think if it even turned into a brawl, he would have been very ready for it.
No. There's no way Canelo would have fit.
If he had, let's say,
even his own style, that brawl.
Terrence can match him.
Overcome him.
Yeah,
he was extremely tired after the 7th round. He was just trying to find that blow,
and it wasn't working.
And even around 12 that he wanted to go for a knockout, Bud won that.
But he won that, and winning that 11 and 12, winning 11 and 12 was very key to the victory, guys. So where do you think, as we wrap up, we'll wrap up in 4 minutes. Where do you think the two gentlemen go from here? Amisti, is it curtains for Canelo? Because I knew he signed a 4-fight contract with the people who organize. So is it curtains for him? Do you think he will want a rematch, or we are beginning to see the end?
But for financial purposes, he should go. He has done a lot. But the issue is that he has signed with the Saudis, which you have to comply. You have to comply. But now with Terrence Crawford, I don't know who is going to face him. Maybe Bivol. And he's the only boxer that can give him that. Okay. The rest, there's no boxer.
Bivol is one of the few boxers who have also troubled Canelo.
Exactly.
So, but he'll be no match for Terrence because of pure style.
But he even said it that he is here to fight him. But prior to this fight, he predicted Terrence and said he has never seen a boxer with that strength upstairs. Talking about the IQ.
The IQ.
See, the guy is so excellent to the extent that, like, runners will see, maybe he will have to beat himself first before any boxer can take him out.
Yeah. Like Alexander Usyk.
Because unlike
Bud is not defeating himself, he's too mentally strong.
Unlike Trinidad and Co, that when they get advantage over you and they start celebrating, he is always serious until
Felix Trinidad?
Yes. To them, once they get you, they start celebrating. But this guy, until the ring is gone, he's always serious. He's always serious. Well, even when he's leading.
Yeah.
But Nathan, just to wrap that up, I listened to Canelo's interview after. I mean, I think he wishes he will get the rematch, but there's no point. There's no point, because if he fights Terrence 10 times, he will lose all.
He will lose all 3.
He will lose all 3. He doesn't have the skill set to match him. I think at 35 years old, he's done well for himself. He should keep the record intact. Don't taint it any further. Don't put a dent in it, because, I mean, if he beats you a second time, it doesn't really utter well for him. But Terrence Crawford will he's 37, probably hang around for a year or two if he doesn't have anybody.
He's got belts, super middleweight now, and then he's got belts because he moved up.
Yeah, he moved up two.
Did he vacate? I think
classes.
he vacated one belt.
Yes,
the welterweight belt. I think he's left that to move up now. Okay, so we'll wait to see what happens next.
And there was the Japanese monster also. He won, making
Inoue.
the fifth. So now the pound for pound, Terrence Crawford, he himself in a way. Then we talk about the Usyk, the heavyweight boxer.
Yeah, Alexander.
I think they will make the first three pound for pound.
Pound for pound.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Should be. But I'm not happy with the level of competition, especially in the heavyweight. Usyk is a great fighter.
But is there any competition over there?
No,
at the moment
there's none. Then that's what I'm saying. That it bothers me that we don't have any competition there, because the heavyweight used to be like, that is the Hollywood of boxing. That is the area. So I mean, for lack of fighters, and nobody should say Anthony Joshua or Chisora or any of these guys. No. Like
Anthony's done.
No.
You mentioned Inoue. So Inoue, for those who are interested, this is in the super bantamweight division.
Yeah,
and Naoya Inoue, he kept his belt, dominated Murodjon Akhmadaliev Sunday morning in Nagoya in Japan. 117, 111, 118, 110, 118, 110. That was dominant. He says 2 more bouts and he wants to fight Nakatani. He wants to fight Junto Nakatani, who was watching ringside. So we'll see about that. But then Saudis have changed the game. As we wrap up, it looks like now we'll be seeing a lot more of the A-list bouts.
Yeah.
They've promised to give us more of the A-list. No more people dodging each other. No, now if you are the two of you.
No Achiagbation.
No more Achiagbation. That's why we got this. And it looks like Inoue Nakatani. It's being planned for 2026 in Tokyo.
It's going to happen.
It looks like it will happen.
It will happen.
It's going to happen.
It will happen.
Anyway,
now we decided the money that they put on the table. There's no way you can. Do you look at prior to the fight? The fight was being fought in where? America.
Yeah.
But look at the camera angle. Yeah. Where was it?
Yeah.
In the stands.
Yeah.
It was on them.
Yeah.
They ruled the boxing now.
Yeah.
It used to be America.
Yes.
But now they've changed everything. Proper heavyweight fights.
They take it to Saudi
Arabia. And on this one, they had to sign. They had to authenticate it to be fought in America.
Dana White and his friend
UFC.
They've changed everything. Now they said they will give us the big bouts. Think about it, the bout was on Netflix.
Sure.
So they've almost like eliminated all these pay-per-view business. Top Rank. Look, do you know that the Inoue bout was free on Facebook? Top Rank had it free.
Even this one, I watched it on Facebook. The Crawford fight. I watched it on Facebook.
It was on Facebook.
Yeah, I have over 1,000 of TVs on my phone. But it was rather Facebook that I watched it.
Look at this.
So
they've eliminated the paywalls and all of these things, and they want to make
Madison Square Garden is going to lose its foothold.
It will soon turn into an entertainment account.
Guys, thank you so much. Eustace Niakwe, thank you. Amici Noble, thank you. It's been fun chatting boxing and athletics. 9:52. That's how I wrap it up this morning.